Welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are...
A great Tuesday morning to you. Welcome to the EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage, live right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Thank you to everyone for listening live on TuneIn, iHeartRadio, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, watching live and on YouTube, as well as to those listening to this on podcasts, wherever you get your podcast. It is Game 5, game day today. Oilers, Kings, GCL Diesel Ulster pregame show coming up 6:30 tonight. We will get into Game 5 here on the show. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Zola with you here. The only reason Dustin Nilsson's ever in this room for Hangout, there's two reasons, actually. One is because he wants to yell at something we're saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he jumps in, storms in to tell us
I really
something.
wanted to know what you guys think about who gets the net the rest of the series.
Or,
Oh, boy.
or it's a draft day.
God, we do need to do a draft, man.
So for him to be here, it's something else. So that's how we're going to actually start the Hangout today. So I'll just throw that out there. We have an announcement to get to and to discuss quickly here on the EST Hangout. But we will be getting to Game 5. YouTube Trev will be joining us here when Dusty is done here to go do his get ready for the lock shop and two guys and all of that. So don't worry, we'll get to it. But Dusty, I guess I'll just... I'll throw to you.
Yeah, we're very excited about this. It's been in the works for quite some time, and obviously yesterday on the Nielsen show, we did announce that our partnership with CoolBet was up, and we're very excited to announce that we are signing a multi-year deal with Play Alberta, which is round of clicks for Play Alberta. This has been something that's been in the works for a while. It's I'm very I said it'd be full transparency. So if you have any questions, if you're listening, we know that CoolBet was very important to us for a long time. Could not have started what we started. Like, we would not be here right now without the guys at CoolBet. Yep. So I do want to give a huge shout out to Jake and Pat again. I think our relationship with what we built at CoolBet was very attractive for the guys that Play Alberta, and they know what we are capable of doing. Yeah, it's super exciting. Like, this is a move from a business perspective, and this was really the first time, and it's kind of like a bit of a double-edged thing because, as we build something like this, tough decisions are going to have to be made along the way, and a very significant business decision was made here, but it's also a business decision that I'm very excited about from like a relationship perspective. Yep. So it really aligns nicely. CoolBet helped us get to where we're at, and we'll always be grateful to them. And there's some stuff we can talk about on that front, but signing this deal with Play Alberta basically means that Edmonton Sports Talk is going to be around for a long, long time, which I think is what many of you have really hoped would work. And we're doing something here like with what we're doing at EST that's never been done in the country before. It's been very successful. I don't know if other people will try to do it in other markets. But in order to take this thing to another level and stabilize ourselves moving forward, this was a deal that had to get done, and the team at Play Alberta has been absolutely amazing. They are big players. We know they're like partners with the Oilers, the Elks, the Stamps, like everybody in this province, and their belief in what we're doing really meant a lot to me. And I'm super stoked about this. And I know change is tough for a lot of people, including myself, but I tell you, this is going to be different than any other deal Play Alberta has. This is different than any other deal we have. And it's going to be awesome for both sides.
Well done, Dusty.
Yeah, it's the trifecta of sports, I feel like, in Edmonton. They get the Elks, they have the Oilers, and now you get Edmonton Sports Talk, right? Like, you got to finish the trifecta of Edmonton.
You had to. They had to get us.
Yeah,
nothing against the Oilers and the Flames and stuff, or the Oilers and the Elks in town here. But
you're missing out on us, right?
It was just a matter of time until they finally really sort of cornered the market. Yeah. And that's what we had here. But, chatting with their team, like what we do is just different. They have other partnerships and they're great partnerships, but we bet. We drive betting. We have shows that talk about betting. We have segments on all of our shows that bet. I bet sometimes heavier than I should.
I dabble.
But yeah, you dabble a little bit. Maddie, you got that little account that you were rolling on. And we're going to have a lot of good stuff coming out. The deal will officially launch on Thursday across all our shows, May 1st. And I'm It's the most significant deal that EST has signed, and will probably be the most significant deal that EST will sign until we renew with Play Alberta when this one's up. So yeah, it's really exciting. I mean, I can answer any other questions anybody has, but by the way, these hoodies are sick.
And the
They're
hat
so comfy.
is too. You can't notice
nice.
it because it's all black. And
Black on black's a good look.
But it's the Play Alberta logo on here, and it looks very sharp. That's what's right there. No, their refresh that they went to is fantastic.
Yeah, and there's been, I think, with the website and betting software, there's been
app
growth there.
Yeah,
too, right?
You're going to see, they're going to be on our website, and this is what's really cool about this is that, one of the reasons our previous relationships have worked so well and one of the reasons I think we have success is because whether you're a sports bettor or you're not a sports bettor, everybody feels like they're part of a community at Edmonton Sports Talk. And it's a large community with a smaller hardcore community kind of within. Mm-hmm. And our partnership with Play Alberta, I'm not going to say we own the sports book, but it's our sports book. Like starting on Monday or on Thursday, May 1st, when you go to Play Alberta, on the left side, you'll see like their series of quick links, and it'll say odds, boosts, and daily specials. And right under that, it will say EST.
Nice.
Like we will have our own, we'll be integrated into their website.
The EST parlays are continuing.
Yeah. And it's probably going to be taken to another level. Our show will have a play of the day. It'll be, I think we're going to call it the early bird bet. So when you go to Play Alberta, on the website or on the app, which is actually, it's really good. I've been working on it the last little while, like going through and getting used to it. It's a good app. If you haven't downloaded that yet, they've got the rebrand with the logo and everything. It looks really good. But when you go there, we will have our own section on, which they have never done before for anybody else, but we will have our own section there. So when we do our early bird bet in the morning, it'll go up there with a little bit of a boost. When we get to the lock shop, when we put together parlays, those will go up there. Jay in the afternoons will have their play of the day.
Nice.
You guys will have Play Alberta related segments, but they're not necessarily betting. I think on here, it'll be the over-under where you just come up with, 12 to 14 inches on Tommy shorts. That day, like, is it over under that type of under? Yeah. So it's that type of thing. So we're going to be a partner. Like, I am very excited about it because this is extremely important for us. But what I love about it is that they have bigger partners than us, but this deal is extremely important for them as well.
Awesome.
Which, when you have two sides that enter into a relationship like that, I think the sky's the limit. And, for the DGen Den over on Discord, we're setting it up. I am legitimately on a Teams chat with their odds team. So when we want to bet, and I'll be in chat with the Discord folks. When you want to put together the DGen Den parlay, you text me, I throw in the chat, it's up in like a matter of minutes. Boom. So they've never done this with anybody else. I don't think anybody in the country had really done this with anybody else prior to us starting it with our previous partners. And I think this is a chance to really take it to another level.
There was a question. Bronco Nick, is Lock Shop continuing?
Yeah, Lock Shop will be continuing. Pretty much like it has been. Now brought to you by Play Alberta, which is nice. Which is fun to say. So, and you know what? The Cool Bet guys, they've been great. And I know some people will be like, oh, Cool Bets, and I love those guys. But I said transparency.
Great guys. To Patty and
Patty and Jake.
I told those guys everything. I got a text.
I emailed Pat and Jake last week.
They were amazing.
And we'd been going through this for a little while. But I emailed Pat and Jake last week and I said, if you guys ever get fired, let me know, because they've been great for us.
Yes, 100%.
But just full transparency. Back in the fall, it was like Cool Bet had a chance to sign along, but they're in a tough spot. Like, they kind of operate in a bit of a gray area.
Yep.
Whereas Play Alberta, I will say this: when we launched, having Cool Bet as a partner, operating in a gray area, there's some sleepless nights for me because you never know when that could end.
Yeah.
With that, Cool Bet is not allowed to operate in Ontario.
Yeah, they're not allowed to operate in Ontario.
In the
like
Ontario and an Ontario IP, you get it blocked. And unless you know how to VPN and go somewhere else, they're not allowed to operate and you can't bet there, which could have always happened here in Alberta at any moment.
Yeah, well, and I think eventually some things are going to change in Alberta. So the very similar deal to what we signed with Play Alberta was offered to Cool Bet. and that was months ago. I didn't expect them to be able to sign it just because of how they operate. And then at that time, I mean, just to be full transparency, so you know why we're doing this, they actually had to dial their deal back with us by like 40%. So I was just like, you know what? I love you guys. You're very important to us. We'll just keep doing the deal. But as a business owner, I was taking a 40% hit for like the last 6 months. So this was a deal that had to get done. And, to be on board with the sports book in the province with what I think we are, the sports media entity in the province. This is a match made in heaven. I think it's going to be really, really good.
I got a text that came in really quickly. It kind of gave me a chuckle. It reminds me of my days in Lloyd. It's from Mike, the Michigan fan. It says, will we be able to bet on the WPCA? That's the Chuck Wagons again this summer on Play Alberta. Maybe Jordan's here from Play Alberta.
I don't know. Jordan, will you be able to bet on the Chucks again?
Yeah.
We got to bet on, yes, you'll be able to bet on the Chucks.
There you go, Mike.
And this is also really exciting because one of the things I talked about with Play Alberta was one of the areas that they want to really continue to drive action on is CFL.
Excellent.
Which I was going to say, the one thing I'm very excited about being on board with Play Alberta is how much they have a commitment to the Canadian Football League themselves. You mentioned it. They're with the Elks. They're with the Stamps.
They are.
We're CFL fans in this room. And knowing that they care about that league as well.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's
amazing.
Great. Like they're huge partners with the Elks. I think they got some good stuff actually coming down the pipe here right away with the Elks. And nobody in the country talks more CFL than we do. And we bet CFL, and I think that's going to be a good thing to drive with these guys as well. So, yeah.
And it's
exciting.
local. Like it's one of those things. This is, we can talk about governments, all those things, but this is our local.
Yeah,
this money goes back to our province.
Yeah.
Like it stays within our province and stuff. That's another thing to this that I'm.
Yeah, I mean that's like a bonus on top of everything else. But it's just like when you go to an Oilers game and see the Play Alberta stuff plastered all over there. We're now partners with those guys, and that's I think is it's a really good step for what we're doing. And if you're a big nasty or a big supporter of us, just let it be known that this is a really good deal for the things that you love right now. Moving forward, they're only going to get better.
Yep. Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Dustin Nilsson.
I mean, pretty much 3 big wheels. But I mean, and I was worried about the swag because you never know with hoodies. It's like, but this is really comfortable.
It's so soft.
This is really good. And eventually we'll be dishing out swag and stuff as well for listeners.
Some
and stuff.
giveaways.
Yeah, we're gonna have a bunch of giveaways. Like when they're partners with the Oilers and Elks, I mean, there will be some giveaways that come through us for that type of stuff, which we just didn't have access to. And I will 100% be honest, as a business owner, like this has been a big sense of relief.
Yeah.
For me to get a deal like this done.
I've talked about it. We've talked with Maddie for months and months and months. So this is big.
And with this, the EST Golf Classic is now presented by Play Alberta.
There you go.
They jumped on as title sponsor as well of the EST Golf Classic. So the second annual EST Golf Classic presented by Play Alberta will be taking place on July 8th. So very excited to have Play Alberta as our title sponsor. They will be there with a hole. And Jordan was saying that some of the stuff that they're going to give us for prizes and stuff, which is like, wow, this is great. So right there, you're talking about giveaways. Right there, golf, those that are in. There's chances to win some amazing prizes thanks to Play Alberta.
Well, I just think it's so rare to be able to, like, if you're sitting there and you're like, we're like the DGen Den, for example, those guys are building parlays all the time. Like, there's not many places in the country where you can do that and then have your own bet pop up with a bit of a boost. Moments later. It's a very unique relationship. I do see Justin Cardinal in the chat saying, what perks does Play Alberta have? Like, do bonus bets and stuff. We are going, like, so when we launch on May 1st, we will have some bonus signups. It'll be like deposit 20, get $100 free bet. So that one will be exclusive for us. It will also work for the casino. There'll be a separate casino one. And then we will have monthly perks for listeners that we'll be dishing out codes on and stuff as well. And then, for everybody who wants to get in when we do our parlays or same game parlays, our relationship and my relationship with them now is I'll pop onto Teams. I'll be like, hey, can we get this parlay put together and get a bit of a boost on it and throw it up on the EST section at Play Alberta. And it'll be, we'll get it up in minutes, which is just, these guys have tons of partners, but we're the ones who are going to be right there. Click EST. Bet with us. I'm very proud of what, like, all of us have built here, but I'm really proud of this deal that that somebody likes us. You know?
Not
they
just-
really like us.
not just
Like,
someone.
It's
A big player in this province.
Yeah, like
This
a
is a big player.
big fish, man.
You don't get on the Oilers jersey and helmets without being a big player type thing. You know, like this is a big part of Alberta. Like Play Alberta is massive.
Yes.
And just for them to think even just a little,
Yeah. Well, and here's the
we'll join with that.
Here-
Like,
here's-
that's really cool.
yeah. Well, and here's the other thing.
I don't know if they understand how cool we think this is.
We're pretty still. We've been doing this for what, a year and a half.
Yeah.
We're pretty fresh still into like what are we in 10 years, right? And Play Alberta in the overall betting game is kind of like us. You know, like they got in when regulations changes here. Like they started up then. And just chatting with Jordan and some of the crew over there, you know, like they've got big aspirations as well. Like, so this is a great opportunity for our two brands in unison to kind of continue to grow. Now, I would expect them to grow a lot quicker than we do, but this deal will help us be a part of that, which is exciting.
I guess one more, and then we'll let you.
We have a couple
to go.
texts, too.
Okay, so we'll get to a couple of those texts. You will be in the Discord for the DGen Den later, answering some questions.
Yeah, I'm
later.
going to hop in the Discord. I don't really know how to do that too much, but I'll hop in
I can
there.
help you with that later
Yeah.
if you need. The one question that I know it has come up a bit, and I haven't even brought this up with you, so I don't know if we have an answer to this. Poker tournaments. We're going to look to do poker tournaments.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Eventually, for sure. Yeah, that'd be something we'd love to do.
And
yeah.
then, poker tournaments was another one that came up in the inbox. A lot of congratulations. And then Lingus says, I just signed up. So right
There
away.
you go. Just signed up. We should have waited until I give you the code on Thursday.
Yeah. Northside Sandwich. Can I bet darts, snooker, and table tennis at 1 a.m.? I'm looking at the live lines for darts right now, so
Yeah.
there are darts. I'm gonna say probably.
Sounds like my buddy.
It's all there. I immediately found the darts.
When you guys look at the P in the Play Alberta logo, do you know what it is?
Yes.
It's the Alberta.
Yeah. So,
So you want to know something?
I got a funny story about that, but
Okay, well, I was at the
Well,
Oiler
he didn't
game,
know
and
about it
Reed
till
looked
today.
at me. He's like, I feel like dumb that I just noticed this, and maybe I'm in the I'm late to the party, but that's the Alberta logo. And I was like, I did not know that, Reed.
okay.
It's
You
the
just
outline
told
of
me
the
that.
province.
And then when
Yes.
Jordan came in, I was like, that's the Alberta logo. He's like, yeah.
yeah,
Tom's
right,
like,
right here.
And Tommy's like, yeah, it is. And I was like,
it's tough to see, but yeah, right here. It's like, so I was staring at it when they launched the rebrand and new logo and stuff. I'm staring at it and I was like, man, I know, like with logos nowadays, there's always more there, right? You're like,
That's
okay,
the
what is
beauty
it? What
of
is it? What is
logos and
it?
design.
So I hopped on a call a couple Fridays ago with like the whole Play Alberta team. And it was a little bit awkward because there was like 7 of them and me in my basement. And I was like, so we talked for like 2 minutes. And I was like, you know what, guys? I said, I just got to get this off my chest. What is going on with the logo? Like, what's the secret I'm missing? And they're like, Dusty, it's Alberta. I was just like, damn it, I'm an
That's
idiot.
the outline of
like
the
it's
province.
so now when I look at it, I
It's-
can't not see it.
It's like the arrow in the FedEx logo.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now you just see the arrow in the FedEx logo. Yeah.
Clever.
I feel dumb for not knowing that, but at least
Or
I
the
didn't ask.
H
Okay, the
and
what in the
negative
FedEx
space.
logo?
Arrow.
There's an arrow in the FedEx
You
logo.
don't know this?
Well, I bet you I probably will when I look it up. Let me.
There's also the tortilla logo, Tostitos. There are 2 people with the chips.
Yep.
What do you mean an arrow in the
E and the
FedEx
X.
logo?
Look at the E and the X.
In the X. There's an
Oh,
arrow.
now I
means
see
it's
it.
going.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Jason and Leduc
See,
says,
that's what I mean. These logos are neat.
See, the Tostitos logo is 2 people sharing a chip in
chip.
a salsa.
Yeah.
Damn it, I never saw that
yeah.
one either.
Yeah, man. It's clever.
These hats are good. These hats
design.
are really nice.
Jason and Leduc says all that money stays in Alberta as well. That's a good thing too, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. The only downside to this, and it would only be for a little bit, and only be with certain people, would be like change. Like that's
Yeah.
the only thing. But I'm telling you, if anybody is like scared of change, it's me, and I'm not scared of change in this situation. I think this is going to be. To be honest with you, I think this is going to be an incredible partnership that all of you are going to absolutely love. And I think it's, if you do play on Play Alberta, or you'll be joining, like you said, some people already signed up. Like, it sounds super cocky to be like, it's our sports book, but in a way, it is Edmonton Sports Talk sport books. Like bets we want on there, and we need a little boost on. These guys will get it for us damn near instantly. So, yeah, I'm very excited about this partnership, and it's going to go for quite a while.
And on top of that, I'll just reiterate the point that you made earlier. For those that may be just joining us, this partnership with EST and Play Alberta this helps keep EST going.
Yeah.
Like, this is just our future looks just not
that we were on the verge of dying, but
no,
like,
it wasn't. But it was.
Yeah.
It's brighter now.
Yeah,
and then just having this, and from your perspective, as the owner operator of this all, it's better. Like it's just a little more stable that we can be as a online radio station that could continue to bring you content throughout this Oiler run, throughout hopefully an Elks Grey Cup run this year, and through many more playoff runs.
Yeah, we're navigating uncharted waters with what we're doing. Yeah, which can be scary at times. Because of all the support of all of our listeners and obviously just our tremendous, like, I don't think this is a stretch when like we are one of the largest sports media employers in the province, technically, with all the way everybody else is dying things back, like from a media perspective.
From a radio perspective, we might be one of the highest on-air talents.
Yeah.
The place I can think of is 960.
They have less on-air talent.
They have less on-air talent than us.
I'd have to see what they have in Vancouver.
But like as like show hosts,
like even TSN 1050 in Toronto would have less radio on air hosts.
So you're not rolling out like 10 full-time guys without significant support from your partnerships. Yeah. And this is a big one for us. And then also, it gets us in bed with the mover and shaker in this industry in this province, which is, it means a lot to me that they buy into what we're doing. A bunch of members of their team are nasties themselves, so they get it. But yeah, like I don't want to get emotional, but this deal means a lot to us, and I'm very excited about it.
Instrumental.
Yeah, that's a good word, Tommy.
Thank you.
You always come up with good words. That's
click on that one.
Yeah.
We kept you a little bit longer. I know that there'll be more questions from people.
Yes.
Feel free to pass them along. You could also jump in our website. Well, hopefully, if there's anything we can answer, we'll try to answer them to you. This is something we'll be answering questions for a few weeks, I'm sure, months even.
I will say this. I mean, we're sitting here though, going like, "Oh yeah, sign up now and make these bets and stuff." But that being said, as always, when you're betting, use your game sense.
Yes.
And don't get carried away.
Absolutely.
Don't get beyond your means. And that's why like we're not every single show is not going to be like, here's our 3 bets. Here's our 3 bets. Here's our 3 bets. Shows will have number related segments that are branded around Play Alberta.
Yeah. You can make dollar bets on Play Alberta.
Well, of course, Maddie would know about that.
I'm aware
so
of
just
the
use
small
your
bets.
game sense and don't get carried away, I guess is what we would like to add to all of this as well. But yeah, you'll see literally on every show, it'll be, let me just see if off the top of my head, early bird bet with us, over under with the Hangout. Obviously, the Lock Shop is a betting show, so we'll be hammering stuff out there. On 2 guys and a goalie, I think it's like number crunchers. EST Afternoons is inside the numbers. Jay will have a play of the day. He likes to gamble a little bit like myself.
A few shekels here and there.
You guys are gonna be doing a game day odds check on the pregame show.
Yep.
So can hop on there. So yeah, we're kind of integrating together here, and it'll be a lot of fun.
You'll be in the DGen den as well.
Right away here. Actually, probably around 10 o'clock. I'm gonna hop on there right away. So
thank you, Dusty.
Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you to Play Alberta.
Always fun.
And this is gonna be really exciting for everybody.
This is the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage live right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. There it is. Play Alberta, Team and EST coming together.
Very nice.
This is exciting. We're very excited about this. And thank you to Play Alberta and Jordan for bringing us the hoodies.
These hoodies are
hats.
great.
And
They're nice Adidas ones.
He brought a very nice bag. And he's like, I only got one. You guys have to fight who it was. And I was just a very quick, mine. Because I'm going to use it for EST stuff.
Well, that's good. I mean, especially if it's for a road kit.
That's what it was for. Like, I need to get some things for it. And it was just like, nope, that one's mine.
Thankfully, he offered more of those because they're really nice.
Because of how quickly I was just like, nope. Yeah, I was very quick on that one. Go get a solo cup for that, please.
Okay, so and to reiterate too, this is a long-term deal for us. And it ensures, cements the future and continued growth of EST. I think that's a huge thing. And Dusty outlined it and talking to Jordan just briefly right before we came on for the show. This is good. And loved Coolbet, obviously. Without them, we couldn't have gotten things going when some of these shows were podcasts before, when we were still at 1260.
Yes.
And this has really grown and developed quite a bit. So a big thank you to the crew at Play Alberta. A huge thank you to everybody at Coolbet for the first, year and change.
They believed in us initially, right?
Exactly.
Like they started off, they helped get this going for Dusty to allow us to build EST for what it was. But with any business, things need to grow, things need to evolve. And Dusty outlined why this is happening and how we got to this point.
Yep.
So yes, obviously we thank Coolbet, thanks Pat, thanks Jake for everything. But also very excited about moving forward with Play Alberta.
Today's an anniversary, by the way.
What's today's anniversary?
Can I kick us off into the rest of the show with this anniversary?
Before we do that, let me just say that the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage, Canada's storage experts, more than 2 decades helping Canadians through life transitions. Canadian storage provider by Canadian, sentinel.ca for more information. Today's the 29th, which means only 2 more days left of that Pick Your Deals offer. 50% off some 12 units, 75% off limited units of 8 weeks, and 100% off 4 weeks of certain units. Sentinel.ca for more information. Now joining us on the Hangouts, we've got YouTube Trev joining us here.
Very nice.
I think I've switched.
I don't have
over
any
the thing.
cool announcements, but
That's okay. Just be cool.
Oh,
dude.
the hat looks like
thanks.
black and white.
Yeah,
just looks so
clutch.
good.
Thank you.
It's fresh.
Be clutch. Thanks, Tommy. Give me this hat.
Now, I think you can appreciate this too, Trev. Today is the 1-year anniversary of Corey B's EST tattoo.
Is it?
Yeah,
That means then today was also the day we gave away the trip to Vegas.
that's right.
That was a busy day.
That was a very busy day. A round of clicks for
Wow.
1
been a
year
year.
anniversary. Corey B literally has our logo on his thigh. And I took an unfortunate photo from that day.
I forgot.
Yeah, I know.
You were between the leg, right? Like from the distance.
From that side, I was like, this will be fine. And then I saw it, and then, no, it was terrible. It was
that
terrible.
photo needs to resurface. I haven't
It
seen
does
that one in a
not
while.
need to resurface.
That was a good one. Yeah, what a day that was. Did we have 1,000 likes on that day as well? No, I don't think so. But
It was a big day, but
that
I
was
thought that was the day we got 1,000.
Yeah, I think so.
Because
It
it was
really?
a big day.
it was a trifecta of things.
Because it was nominated for an SD
Yeah.
because of how big of a day, and it might have been that day. Here, you want to know
We
something?
got Surveyor
Let me see
Brett.
what that day that was.
Where are you, Surveyor Brett?
We have it posted up here,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah, there was that episode.
No, that's his. Oh no, that's
that was May, yeah.
Ah.
second.
Shucks.
There was a third thing.
I thought there was something else.
there was
but-
a third thing that happened that day.
Most-
We have a big printout of when we hit 1,000
our first 1,000 like show.
on the wall. That's why I left the room
Pretty
to go
cool.
look at
The
something.
1K. Yeah, we
With
had a lot of
Joaquin.
likes yesterday as well. I think
Well-
it was. Oh, I calculated all of them. I think it was 2,300 likes.
Yesterday was our most
2,000.
liked day of EST.
307
That's
likes.
awesome. Thank you to everybody.
That's half of Pincher. You know that? That's half of my town. I grew
Wow.
up in. Yeah. That's a lot, man. I was like blown away. That's amazing. So good stuff. Thanks, Nasties.
I can't believe you didn't say you were with EST when you got
I
to the
did.
door.
I did. I text Corey B. I said, I tried everything.
You didn't try everything.
The big guy's name is Sam.
Only
I don't
thing
know.
you have to
but
say
was there a
is,
chance that
Ask
they
for
were like,
Tim.
I work for EST.
but there could have been a chance they're like, okay, no, we're
You're
not
too
letting
drunk.
you in.
Yeah,
Unless
that's
you
the
were
only thing.
sloppy and you, yeah.
And I
If
think
you look
that's-
sloppy,
Yeah,
because I don't remember getting home also.
then you were sloppy.
Yeah,
then-
so there is that.
And they have a pretty. They're really good at. Ice
I would have
house,
let me
so-
in. I let everyone in.
Yeah, well,
That was bad. I was
there
not
you,
a
well,
good-
you just answered. It. You didn't even have to ask.
Yeah.
This year, Andrew the accountant says 1 year since EST awarded me my first time to Vegas. Me and my wife will always appreciate the experience, and we are excited to go back soon. And I met Andrew the accountant at Ice House the other day. Andrew, very nice to meet you. Yeah, that is the 1 year anniversary. So
Wow.
we've done some cool stuff.
Wild.
We've been very, very fortunate. It's, we've had in the year and what now? Because September 6th is our first day.
Yeah, I always so that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8
8
months.
months.
Year and
So
8
it's-
months. We've
Yeah.
and that's the good thing about our new station is that when we have ideas, stuff we used to do that got shut down or they wouldn't want to get involved with, we can do it now. And we've been doing it, which is great. And now I think, we're going to keep that going. So I like that these anniversaries are popping up.
For sure.
You think anybody was getting a 1260 tattoo?
No.
Yeah.
No chance.
Although we could have, it hit me, honestly, it never popped in my mind while there. I don't know why we never sold 1260 merch.
You guys would have sold a lot.
There's a lot of questions. About
That
our
was
old
like,
place
it was
that
one of those,
why
like, I
didn't
don't know,
we do
like
this?
we could have had some basic 1260 merch.
Those EST NWO t-shirts, even though they were a very limited run, I've seen a bunch of them already.
That's pretty cool.
Out and about.
That one
look
hit me that I
fresh.
always went, I don't get that one.
That's
why we
awesome.
didn't
I
do that.
love it.
But at the same time, I never thought of it and went and be like, hey, why don't we do this?
At 1260, did you guys have golf tournaments?
We
Was that
used
allowed?
that's
we had
the-
a great
it was
golf
about
tournament.
20 years we hit with it, maybe just under
wow.
20 years.
Okay.
And then COVID hit, stopped, and then they chose not to bring it back because it
Yeah.
was too much work for people.
Oh.
Literally, they said it was too much work. And
then
that was one of the
excuses.
things. Like when 1260 ended, it was like an immediate like we're no golf tournament's coming back. If anything was going to happen in year one,
It was
I don't
golf
care about
tournament.
anything else.
So that's why
we were
it was
doing a golf
such a
tournament. We were
Mount
doing a golf
Rushmore
tournament
moment
last year.
for us.
And that's why I'm very excited that Play Alberta is jumping on as title
pretty
sponsor
cool.
of this one. We've got a lot of great sponsors for it. GS Construction has jumped on board this year, is our platinum sponsor. We've got some great gold sponsors, Damon Bunting,
Yep.
William Huff, Paramount Flooring. They are on, and then we got some great holes sponsors and people coming out, including the Edmonton Elks,
Oh,
the Edmonton Riverhawks.
Excellent.
They're going to be out there on the course. Play Alberta will have a hole out there, so it's going to be a really, really fun day. Unfortunately, to those that couldn't get in, we're completely sold out. I'm on a wait list, so you can message me on the wait list. I don't know if I'm going to even crack that wait list and stuff. So,
Damn.
wow.
We're
it's
lucky.
going to be a fun day on July 8th
I
at the
cannot
Ranch Golf
wait.
and Country Club. It maybe one year we'll have to do a 2-day golf event.
I don't know
tournament.
if my liver can handle
One day
that.
next day, or it's going to be we're going to
Sign
split
me
the
up.
EST staff in half.
Oh my.
And we'll do 2 tournaments, one
Oh,
morning,
okay.
one afternoon. Half the staff goes in the morning, half the staff
like
goes
this.
in the afternoon.
Make
And
it
we
a
just do
skies.
another 18 at the ranch. We'll just take over the ranch for a day.
Jeez.
This is the EST Hangout. Let's get to Hangout headlines, which is brought to you by the Ranch Golf and Country Club, offering premier conditions, top-notch service. They are also your all-in-one tournament host, proud host to over 180 tournaments every year, including the one that we just mentioned, the EST Golf Classic, presented by Play Alberta. They're here to help you execute all your tournament ideas. Book your tournament today. Visit theranchgolf.com. Tonight, Game 5, GSL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show, 6:30. Tommy and Hernan will get you set for this pivotal game. It is a 2-2 series. Tom will also be at Hudson's on White Ave.
I'm literally, because somebody in the I don't have, again, the program on my phone compared to when it's on the laptop. You know how it takes out the name sometimes?
Yes.
I don't know who I'm talking with right now, but I'm trying to set up a table for Nasties.
Nice. It's very thoughtful.
Yeah, and if you plan on heading down, like I know VR Montenegro, that's a home game for him. Cal in the Park and Sarah usually come down and get your table too. This I feel like this is a separate one, but it's a good idea, and I'm working with Connor over at Hudson's White Ave to get another table just for our listeners. So we're just working on that right now.
I just want to quick give a shout out to someone here.
Oh, it's Rob from the Grove. Okay, sorry, Rob. I
Nice.
didn't know.
I don't know who
It
this
didn't show up.
Who this
My bad.
is?
Nah, it's okay.
We have a person in the nasty chat. What did she say here? What time is it in Canada, y'all? It's 3:30 a.m. and y'all are awake. 3:30 a.m. in New Zealand.
Wow.
Jeepers.
It's 9:30.
We're
out
global. EST's global. That's
here.
awesome.
And it's Tuesday or Wednesday. Today is Tuesday. You're into Wednesday. We're still in Tuesday.
in the future. Isn't that weird?
I know.
I hate that.
Okay.
When my brother went to Japan, he was like, when I left, I got back in the same day. And I'm like, took me hours to wrap that around my head.
One time with the Oilers, we celebrated New Year's twice. We were
That's
in
awesome.
Arizona flying to San Jose. It hit midnight when we were in the air, and then we landed, and it was back to like 11:40, and it hit midnight while we were on the bus.
That's pretty cool.
And we had some beverages.
Yeah.
Well, when you're
A lot
celebrating
of
it twice.
beveraginos.
Twice in one night. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
amazing. I will say, looking at you boys when I was getting everything set up, we look sharp. I love it. It
It's
looks
sharp.
good.
Tommy, it fits
Men in
Tommy's
Black.
outfit perfectly today.
Yeah, black on black. Can't go wrong
And
with
then
that.
your hat fits you
There you go.
perfect.
Thank you. Yeah, that's awesome.
Actually, we're
I'm
gonna
so
be calling
pumped.
B Clutch today.
This is,
It's awesome. So super cool. But
How are you guys feeling about the Oilers game tonight? From an Oilers perspective, actually,
Go ahead, Trev.
Actually, before you fully jump into that,
okay.
I do want to, be able to do this for the first time on Edmonton Sports Talk.
OBS.
What? Hockey,
Are you gonna do anything?
NHL,
Oh,
Edmonton Oilers tonight.
Atif
They've
wants you to know that he got into Ice House, no problem. By the way, he just he just rolled in there.
okay.
Bump.
Slight favorites to the LA Kings, according to Play Alberta.
Boom.
Really?
Boom.
Over under set at 6.5 on Play Alberta. There's some
Wow.
Yeah.
first time we got Play Alberta lines for you right here on Edmonton Sports Talk.
I tell you what, this is the first time in this series it feels like Edmonton has an edge. To me, at least.
I'd agree.
You know, going into the series slightly too, but since after game one, finally it feels like, hey, maybe you should feel good about the Oilers
Yeah.
going into this game. Now, it is in LA. LA has played so good at home. They're 2-0 in the playoffs at home. They scored a lot of goals against the Oilers at Crypto.com Arena, but I'm sorry. There is now a sequence to this series and some tendencies that the Oilers are preying upon that we are watching before our very eyes, and that is that the fact that the Kings are only rolling essentially 13 skaters, right? They've got 5 guys riding the pine. Darcy Kemper is not Darcy Kemper from the regular season, and no lead is safe.
Yeah.
Those are the common themes that have popped up in the sequences that the tendencies we've seen.
Yeah, no, that's well put there, Tommy. And it's interesting perspective when you look, you are getting Trent Frederick. Like we were talking about the injury list for the Oilers, it is getting shorter. So the players that didn't play, the first game one for them, Trent Frederick, Evander Kane, they weren't really that meaningful, impactful, if you will. But they're starting to. I'm noticing them a lot more, and I think that trend's going to continue. And it's the opposite for the Kings, right? The Oilers are getting their players back, and they can afford to play these guys a little bit more minutes.
I trust them to.
They trust them to, but then that's a big thing as well. But the Kings, it's the exact opposite. It's like, okay, these guys are getting tired. Do we dare, play the fourth line? These elevate their minutes? Like they haven't really been doing that, and so it's interesting. The special teams battle I'll be looking at quite a bit tonight. The Oilers' last game was the first game they've been able to shut them out on the PK. So will that continue? I don't know. I like to think that. I mean, the Oilers
they quieted down Kempe and Kopitar
quite a bit, which is huge.
Kuzmenko
right?
didn't even play much in the third period.
I have a question on that. Plus 110 for the Oilers on the money line.
Oh, okay.
If you're confident in the Oilers, there's value on Play Alberta. How much does this line matching impact this? Do you think?
Have we seen a ton of line matching?
I don't know. I haven't. I guess paid full attention. Because
I haven't noticed a heck of a whole lot.
It doesn't feel like it has been a lot of line matching.
Or like putting
the Kings
out
are only rolling through a line.
Preferential lines at times throughout these games.
Well, Danault, we've seen him a lot against what? McDavid?
Yeah. And or Draisaitl.
Right.
Like he's out there when the Oilers are taking the draw in the O zone. He's the guy. And aside from that, that's really the only thing. Like he's taking those draws, and then that's really the only matchup that I've been.
I will play devil's advocate all this, and the only reason I'd be worried about the Edmonton Oilers is their only ways. The 2 ways that they've won is because LA has played back. That when LA is playing, they win.
Yeah,
they have found a way to have that lead, and it's the moment they give Connor an easy access into the Oilers, what would be the Oilers' offensive zone. The Kings' defensive zone. That has given the Oilers the ability to come back and win these hockey games.
Yeah.
Can the Oilers find a way to play a better, consistent 60? You're never going to play a full 60. There's always going to be those, and especially in the playoffs, there'll be moments where the Kings are going to be better or something. But if the Kings are not playing fully back, they have, in the end, had the advantage when it comes to the scoreboard.
But how much in the OT was it the Kings sitting back, or was it just
I'm not
the
talking
Oilers?
about the OT.
Okay, it's more so just
I'm talking
in the
third period. They
just,
sat back and allowed the Oilers for basically 20 minutes to just come into the zone, and they basically were like, we're not going to give up the goal. That's how we're going to win, is by not giving up the goal.
Yeah.
As opposed to, okay, we gotta still play defensive, but we gotta keep stretching the ice to force the Oilers to have to also defend a little bit. But the Oilers didn't have to defend as much.
No.
And they got to just come in and get firing shots, and they found that goal.
They found multiple goals, multiple nights.
Sure,
that's the
100%.
thing. Because in theory, I was going to say to that, what you're saying, Maddie, is in theory, if you have a multi-goal lead, you should be able to hang on for 20 minutes. Should.
The Kings blew the lead in game 1. They were this close to blowing the lead in game 2. They didn't.
Yeah.
So, you know those type of sayings. Game 3, they blew the lead. Game 4, they blew the lead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Who do you favor? The team that comes out strong and, has can put together a pretty good 40, but then kind of sits back? Or do you favor the team that may not really, start the best, but they've got the
won
guys
last two.
and they've been able to come back,
In 3 or 4 games, they've
so
blown away multi-goal.
Because
You
after
have to-
40 in game 3 and 4 in that press box, there was a lot of nerves for the Oilers. A lot of this team's not playing well.
Yeah, I was
And they
feeling that.
won those hockey games.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's tough because we were talking about on the morning show today. It's just, I want to believe. I really do. And like this season, all season long, like me, or I should say the Nasties and myself, you'd see a few good games and then you're kind of back, like, no, this Oilers team's legit. They're great. And then they have a stinker and then they have another stinker. And then it's like, where are you with this team? And so after game 1 of this series, I was like, no, okay, they showed me in the third period. Like, I'm convinced they can play that. But then they weren't able to do that in game 2. And I was so convinced that they were going to win in game 2. So then I'm like, I don't really know. I'm lost on this team. And then they were able to, rattle off 2 wins in a row. So I want to say that, yes, I like their chances going into tonight's game. But I've said it more this year than I have in previous years. The Oilers be Oilering. I swear. That was, on Twitter, that was everywhere. And will they Oiler tonight? I don't know. You have to think that what they felt, what was said in, right before overtime, that sticks with them. And they just go out there and they set the pace. It would really, really be nice. And like, it's game over at that point. If the Oilers can do that, I really like their chances.
Matt Hyman did want to see a close-up of the Play Alberta hat. So I'm just going to quickly do that here.
Very nice.
I don't know if it'll show up.
Black on black, which looks good.
A little bit. Back
Subtle.
it up, maybe. Need a flashlight?
It looks like
I wonder if I could get the
I
flashlight.
think we're gonna have a
Oh,
pretty
okay, I see
big,
the logo there.
pretty big crew from EST at Hudson's tonight. Rob from the Grove requested a table for 10. I put that into Connor over at
Good job,
Hudson's. Hopefully he confirms it. He says he thinks he can accommodate for our crew. And then Big Dave says he's also going to be heading down. So I saw Sarah and Cal will be there. VR Montenegro, because that's close to his place. So home game, as we like to say, for him.
Okay.
And then someone's asking if
Stomping ground.
Ekblad has a hearing, and I haven't seen anything on that yet. I'm just looking at the player safety Twitter account, and they haven't put anything up yet. So
Very
haven't seen
surprised.
anything.
Are you surprised by that?
A little bit. He did forearm shiver.
I'm more surprised that the ref
Was
you know what?
right
At this point, I shouldn't be surprised.
No, I know it's sad, but it's
but
true.
like, I don't know what he's looking at. Like, he's looking right at
The only thing he
clear-
was trying to get out of the way because there was a collision, another collision close by.
Yeah.
But you should be able to see that in your peripheral, and it's a pretty blatant forearm shiver to the head of Hagel. And I know Hagel has a bullseye on his back,
mean,
but
number one.
come on. Oh, okay, here we do have an update from Friedman. Phone hearing coming for Ekblad.
So is that usually?
You have to have an in-person to get 5 or more.
Yeah.
So
that
there's
could
a
be a
good chance.
suspension.
So it'll be a few games.
Okay, phone hearing.
Glad you're back, and now you're gone.
And in the end, it's generally 1 playoff game equals 2 regular season games.
Yeah.
So if you think that's 4 regular season games, generally then that would equal 2 playoff games.
Cheapers.
Yeah, the ref is literally right there.
It's pretty embarrassing.
Well,
Defend that, Surveyor Brett. He's been defending the refs quite a bit on Twitter. I've been seeing.
Surveyor Brett is a
Good for
noble
him.
man,
He is.
but
I like him.
and I appreciate him trying to defend the officiating, but it's been garbage. The linesman with the face-offs is beyond
That was
ridiculous.
bad in game 4.
Beyond ridiculous.
I don't know I think 86 or whatever was the one linesman. He
Brutal.
was the worst of the 2. The other guy wasn't great either, but it was just ridiculous.
Just say my first name, Leon.
Just
Please,
What a loser.
Anze.
What a loser.
drop the puck.
It's ridiculous.
Has it not gotten worse the last 2 seasons? I
Yes.
swear it's gotten every season. I'm like what's going on here? And yeah, because wasn't it not? It was 40 seconds before he dropped the puck at one point, and the crowd starts booing. What are you doing?
I don't
It
think
was
I ever
ridiculous.
in the press box ever
I got
like,
beef.
let's go, drop this puck or whatever. And there was a few times in the game, just drop the damn puck.
Yeah.
Just drop it. I don't care. Whatever, just put it.
Pathetic.
Let's get playing here.
Even Shockey complained about it, and
Put me out there.
he loves rules and officials.
Yeah,
He
He's a softie.
but he likes things done in order.
Yeah, very proper.
And I saw it like there's I think it was Helene Elliott, who's a longtime Kings writer.
Yeah.
I think she tweeted about it too. She's on, and she's like, it's not an Oilers complaint. Like, this is just drop the damn puck.
Yeah.
Like,
Let's go.
you don't have to throw someone out every faceoff.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they line up with a little momentum and maybe it's an advantage. No, just shut up and drop the puck.
To know taking warnings, like stepping out a few times last
And
game.
he was warned for it.
I think he got he gets the one warning.
Yeah.
I think he was doing it on purpose for
Of
some
course,
reason.
he's playing games with
I know,
Draisaitl.
and that
He's
was
playing
it was
games with-
interesting. Like,
Yeah.
I hadn't seen anyone else do that, but yeah, he'd just like they'd be close, and he'd just get up and back off, and you'd see the ref point to like the warning. And
Watch Evander Kane.
You pointed this out to me.
He finds ways to create an extra few seconds for his guys to
slow.
catch his breath. Yeah, watch Evander Kane on faceoffs. He did it. I mean, he's only played 3 games now, but keep an eye on him because he's got little clever tactics. His gamesmanship or whatever. To kind of buy a couple extra seconds.
Every time, his antics in the face-off, every time I notice that, I say Tom Gazzola because you brought that out to me when we were in the press box last year.
He is a good player.
And now it's
when he
one of
wants to
those
be.
things. It's just glaring. I'm like, okay, he's doing it again. But it's like every draw.
Yes.
If it's a misdraw, he'll kind of skate into the center of the circle and he'll just be so slow on his way back.
He'll say something.
Yeah, he'll be like, well, look at that. He'll point.
Yeah, or be like, oh, there's something on the ice right here. You got to
He's
get
a vet.
that. Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
I'll have to pay attention to that. I've never noticed.
Yeah,
it before.
watch him.
You're going to notice it all the time now.
Yeah, I know. Absolutely. Then I'll become you in that. Yeah. Once you notice those things, you see them. By the way, the Oilers, they'll be on the ice at noon our time.
Yeah.
11 o'clock Pacific time. So stay tuned for that. 2 guys and a goalie. Any sort of updates that we might see from the Oilers around that. Do you have something?
Player safety, literally, after we started talking about them, tweeted out, Nico Mikkola from the Panthers has been fined $5,000, the maximum allowable under the CBA for boarding Zemgus Girgensons of the Lightning. So we're still waiting on this phone hearing for
And now
Ekblad.
they've tweeted themselves that there'll be a hearing today for Ekblad.
Okay, so right on cue. Very nice.
Was that play before or after the Ekblad incident?
I
Do
fell
you
asleep.
recall?
I had a nap during that game.
Because I was thinking maybe that's why they kicked Mikkola out there. 'Cause I didn't think that was extremely vicious. I thought Ekblad's play was a lot dirtier, in my opinion. But yeah, do you guys have a favorite series? Maybe you talked about this yesterday. Is there a series that you've been
Dallas and Colorado, the back and forth has been awesome. I watched that game. I woke up and watched that game, and it was great.
Yeah, I thought it was Colorado's. I didn't think Dallas was really going to recover, but they have.
Oh, they did.
And it looks like they're going to take that one.
When I was doing EST afternoons and for Hernan, Zach Gager and I got it. We did our top 3 series we're going into the playoffs, looking forward to. And I think number 1 had Battle Ontario. Number 2 was Stars, Abs. 3 was Kings Oilers. Maybe just because I've watched every second of it. Kings Oilers to me is my favorite.
Oh yeah, I agree.
It's
And
been
like
crazy.
as far as like the
and Battle of
entertainment,
Ontario has been close. I just haven't watched enough of it.
Yeah.
In the end, it hasn't sucked me in to watch more of it.
yeah. Obviously, I cheer for the Oilers, but bias aside, it's just the entertainment value. And then like as far as when I'm scrolling on TikTok, when I'm seeing vids, everyone's reacting to this series more than any other series.
Wow, 3 out of the 4
seen.
games came right down to the end.
Yeah, comebacks.
I guess you could say, well, Leafs Sens, they had 3 overtime games so far. Or is it just 2 overtime games so
just
far?
2.
They've had a few overtime games.
Yeah.
So, but game 1 came right down to the end.
Yeah.
Game 2, it got away from the Oilers, but they got it close. And then 3 and 4 were third period changes and 1 goes to overtime. It's just been, I think if you were a neutral, you'd have to be very entertained about that series right now.
For sure. Yeah, out of all the times that they've played, this has by far been the most entertaining in my opinion. But those Kings, I really think that like this Kings team, they are unreal. Like when they're buzzing, when they're on, like you can tell they're a completely different team than previous years. Just the way that they've been able to handle and just sustain the pressure. It's been they've been fun to watch, and I can't really say that in previous years.
I will say that the Kings don't win in 6. I don't know. I don't think. I think if they win tonight, they're not winning Game 6.
Yeah,
and they would have to win Game 7 at home. If the Oilers win tonight, there's no Game 7.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Oh,
They're not finished. The LA Kings aren't going to be able to force it back to LA.
oh, I sure hope you're right. When you sent,
I think that at that point, though, you're looking at it and like if you're the LA Kings, you're up 2-1 in the series, and then you're up in games 3 and 4, and you blew it, and then you go back home and you have this amazing home record, and you lose again.
Yeah, that's the deal breaker.
I think right there, just mentally, you're done.
Yeah.
It's the Oilers 4 straight years, like seriously. And honestly, I will say, Dustin, I know, Reed, I think you a bit too.
What?
Downplayed Kemper's regular season. I'm
maybe a bit.
surprised at how bad he has been this playoffs. I'm quite surprised by it. I was not expecting him to be this poor in this playoff series. And I think this is actually one reason where it's like you need everything. You need stats / eye tests to evaluate players and stuff because he was a Vezina finalist.
To Reed's credit, he would say with Kemper, his season was a product of
that's the thing.
Kings defense. I just said Kemper's beatable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's beatable, and
But the stats, when you look at them, and
They're
I didn't watch
pretty
the
good.
LA Kings, I look more, look at the save percentage right up with their Hellebuck.
Yeah.
Goals not average right there with Hellebuck. This is a guy that is stopping the puck. And in the end, he's struggling big time.
a 35-year-old, a 34-year-old doesn't just all of a sudden have a mega season. That's kind of an anomaly. And I know Kemper's been a decent goalie for a while in the NHL. He was a backup for a long time in Mini, and I think he spent some time. This is his second stint in LA.
Yeah, his numbers in Arizona, though, like they were a pretty terrible team.
Yeah.
And he had some good numbers on that team.
The Oilers were interested at that time.
Yeah, they were.
And he didn't
said
want to
no.
come here. Yeah.
But it's not like all of a sudden, like he hasn't laid down a year like he had this year before.
Yeah, yeah.
And so you look at that and you go, well, good point by Reed saying that, listen, Kemper is a product of the system that LA employs. Talbot had a all-star season last year. Korpisalo was the hot get at the deadline a couple years ago. That didn't matter. And then Quick was an older goalie who has become a very serviceable backup and just got an extension. But yeah, I mean, there are methods and again, tendencies, like I was saying earlier. You pick up on things and you can find ways to beat them. And the Oilers, to their credit, have. And Kemper's made a few good saves here and there, but he's not,
He's
a
beatable.
brick wall. He's beatable, and the Oilers are proving that.
Yeah, I like that the most. He's beatable, and I think you've been able to see that. But it's just like goaltending as a whole. Like I don't think there's ever going to be a right or like yes, there can be in some extent, but when you've got the Vezina finalists, all three of them are like bottom 5 right now in goals against average and save percentage to start the playoffs. It's like it's one of those things. Like you can, yes, they're the best goalie, but they're really sucking right now. Is it the team? Is it their play? It's there's so many factors you got to look into it, really. But yeah, I don't know. It's sure nice seeing Kemper crumble.
Yeah. Well,
if you're an Oilers fan, I wouldn't say crumble, but yeah.
I'll just be intrigued how he responds from the overtime because he was brilliant in overtime, though.
Well, yeah, he was really good.
He was getting shelled.
And he was making amazing saves. That playoff could have ended, or that overtime could have ended a lot sooner. But he was making some big saves.
How awesome was that OT?
It was wild.
It really was.
There's a text that says, how is Hellebuck looking this playoffs? Bad.
Well, see, yeah, that's the thing. But he is, I think you going into the playoffs, you ask any expert media analyst, they're going to say he's unanimous best goalie in the world right now. But then, is it the lights? What is it?
I don't know.
That's the thing. It's like,
Is it the
there's
pressure?
is there a wrong answer? I don't know.
But then and I thought like one different I would have had for Hellebuck going to these playoffs is look how good he looked in the Four Nations final against Canada. And in overtime, he was making some big saves too and all that. But
It's true.
here it is. Pulled twice
Yeah.
this series.
Last 2 games.
Yeah. Like,
And people are in Winnipeg are saying, Eric Comrie, please.
Yeah.
Whoa. And then I saw someone actually text in Chris Drieger. It's like, oh yeah, they went and got him.
Yoicks.
Yeah. Dudley texting in via the inbox 780-218-9999. Did you guys notice in game 4 when Leon kept getting thrown out, Leon told the refs that they were ruining the game over and over and over again. I didn't see it. I read about it, and I am with him on that. I stand with him on that sentiment because it is so damn annoying. I'm getting tired of the officials. They frustrate the living daylights. As a fan of hockey,
Brutal.
it's the
game.
linesman more too.
Like
Not
I-
even a ref. Like you're not
all
even
of
an
it is
official, right?
pissing me off. Like I don't care for the like Wes McCauley's shtick has worn thin on me, and he's supposed to be one of the more likable refs. Like, I don't care. Just ref the game. Yes, here and there's moments where you can show personality, the way you handle coaches and talk to the captains when you need to talk to them to handle a situation, diffuse something. But like the face-offs, the calls announced, this, that, like, oh, just shut up and ref the game, please.
Maybe a silly question, but will there ever be a time no refs? It'll just all be
No.
Can't.
I know. I thought that once, and I was like, yes, the way things are going. But then I was like,
Who drops the
who
puck?
drops the puck? And I was like,
Who breaks up the fight?
Yep.
no one. Let him fight.
Who has that extra eye for the net to see what goes in? You'd have to have full technology of goal line technology at that point if you want to go through that. But then you got to see if it's high stake. Like in the end, they might embrace more technology.
Yeah, but
you always, it's the same as in baseball. You're never going to get rid of the umps. You still need the umps to be out there, but you're going to see the strike zone one day called strictly robotically. But you're still going to need that one ump out there. You're going to need the handing the balls and things like that. So that's going to be the interesting thing is how they evolve with that. I will stand by, even if you keep 2 linesmen, 2 official refs, I think there should be a 5th ref that is just sitting somewhere with cameras and is able to call penalties or take away a penalty call in the moment.
That's not bad.
If a ref puts the hand up for high stick, but the other ref is like, no, his own player did that to him instead, he could get rid of that penalty quickly there. And so you do it in the moment. I hope one day we can get to something like that.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Not adding time. Also, I think just challenges all the replays. There should be a time limit.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Let's get on
Time
with the
limit
game.
and a certain, like, I'm not going to say game speed. I'll say 0.75 speed. You need to slow it down sometimes a little bit. But if you're looking for like an offside, I do not want it going frame by frame, like this slow. No, it's got to be a relatively normal speed. And if you don't see it, then let's just live with it.
Yeah.
Frame by frame can be so annoying. Lingus says a drone can drop the puck. You know what? A drone could probably do a better job right now than the linesman. It's like drop, good, go.
That was my theory.
Fly away.
Just
Like, get out of here.
Is that drone going to be able to go pick up the puck? Maybe.
Oh yeah.
Amazon's
Why not? Give
getting
it a claw.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Well, if you got linesmen
Why
out
not?
there, give it to the drone.
Yeah.
They can pick it up, put it in the drone. Not hard.
They can do
Jeffy says, for as much as I hate Dustin Schwartz, and as much hate, for as much hate as Dustin Schwartz
I like where
gets
this is starting.
for the Oilers, he has consistently been able to get the Oilers shooters information on how to beat the opposition goalie. It seems the goal scorers get better and expose the goalies as the series go on. Darcy.
Nice.
Darcy. That one comes in from Jeffy, a positive Dustin Schwartz text.
I bet the Kings chant, we
That's a
want
first.
Skinner.
What's that?
I bet the Kings fans do chant, we want Skinner tonight.
Well, probably. They're savage.
That's a pretty good chant.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give him credit for that one still. But I
Yeah.
wonder if they'll pull that out
They were
tonight, even
loud.
though he's not going to be getting the start. Portions of this hour of the EST Hangout. They are brought to you by the Hive Product Marketing, official merch partner of EST. Promotional products that bring the buzz. Check them out. thehiveproductmarketing.com. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola, YouTube Trev with you here today. Reminder, we got the Lock Shop coming up at 11 with Dusty and Haas. We got 2 guys and a goalie. We got EST Afternoons, and we got an extended Rewoken show with Jay Milne from 3 until 6:30, because then it'll be the GCLD's Ulster pregame show coming up at 6:30, getting you set for Oilers Kings. 8 o'clock, Tommy on location, Hudson's White Ave. Him and Hernan will also have the post-game show. Reed also may not be here today. I may have to be doing the show with.
Is he
with Jay.
sick?
He's at this very moment, he's getting his retina detached.
What?
Or something.
Yeah.
Oh
I don't know
my
if he
God.
talked about that on air.
No,
No, we
but he
didn't.
was talking
Okay,
about
I
his
should talk-
eyeballs
yeah,
yesterday.
I don't know.
Ugh.
I guess so. We'll see if he can get in today or not. He wants to,
Get him a patch.
but if not, I'm
That's what I said.
I'm on call for having to
Okay.
do the Reed Wilkins show today with Jay.
No more 21
Well,
for
you and
next
Jay have a
week,
good
I
one.
guess.
He could go one eye. Like, I'm assuming I don't know if you'd wear a patch.
I don't know if you'd want to. Yeah, he'd have to
does
have a
look like a
patch.
pirate
Maybe you
already.
would. Maybe he'd get better.
Yeah, well, then I wouldn't. I sure wouldn't want to play with him.
Well, you never know.
Yeah.
His underhand throws are a little off-putting, but they work. He was practicing them the other day.
I wonder if it
Noticed
would
that.
work better or not. Like,
I mean,
we'll see.
I didn't want to say it, but kind of not a big fan of the underhand throw.
It's been done in the NBA
I know.
very rarely.
Yeah, who has? Can you imagine being that guy?
Okay, I found a video on
You're not that
old
guy.
Madison Square Garden before they built the current one that they're in 1968. And they were talking about it, and they were showing old Knicks highlights of a warm-up. And there was a guy practicing free throws, short shorts, of course, in the 50s.
Oh, yeah.
Underhand free throws.
It's like Jackie Moon. Here's
and you
Jackie
kiss the
Moon.
ball.
Yeah,
If it works, it works.
It works.
and it's
I do
working.
say that.
It's really working for Reed right now, which is why I
It's
don't
the
like
question
it.
is, do you want to win or do you want to win the right way type thing? Do you want to play the right way or do you want to win?
He just wants to win.
And it's like the
obvious.
same as hockey. Do you want to be the team that plays the trap or do you want to be the team that maybe loses but plays more open?
Yeah. No, I get it. It's just I could never play that way. But it works for him. That's why I allow it. But I was
You
joking
can't
when we
stop
first
it.
started. I was like, could you imagine we played like this? And then he started playing like it. And so I was like, oops.
His mind is always working. You know, that's right.
Brendan stopped by yesterday. He got off at work early.
Brendan?
Yeah. And
I miss Brendan.
Him
Me
and
too, man.
Reed got
Shout out
into
to
a
Brendan.
game.
Good.
I told Brendan for every point he loses by, that's how many days it's going to be until he's allowed back in the office.
Nice.
He lost 4-4, so he can't come to the office until Monday. He wants to stop by. He's not allowed the rest of
Brendan's good shiz.
I remember when he would just sit there quietly and we'd all just look at him and smile and say, hey, Brendan. And he'd kind of just nod back.
He was-
You talking about you in the hangout?
No, just in general.
Just in general. That was his spot right there.
Well, I didn't just sit here. I was in my office. Yes. Did
Well,
sit
like when
here?
we'd walk by,
Oh,
yeah,
I
but
see.
I mean, I
Like,
wouldn't disturb him.
Reed
I
would always be like, oh,
just-
you're here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I miss that.
He was good.
Good guy.
He was awesome, actually.
I liked him.
I liked him a lot.
This is the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage, Canada storage experts, more than 2 decades helping Canadians through life's transitions. Canadian storage provider by Canadian. I shot my card a little too earlier there because I had to do this again. But we're live on EdmontonSportsTalk.com, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and thank you for everyone listening on podcasts. Please subscribe to all of our podcasts. That would go a long way for us as well. And then you just automatically get all the shows. If you ever miss us, you can jump into the podcast. I do want to say this because I know Bronco Kid Nick earlier while we were talking about Play Alberta. He said, I thought the Elks didn't have a first round pick and they just drafted someone in the first round. The global draft took place this morning.
Yes.
So the Elks took a couple players in the global draft and they did have a first round pick for that. Of course, I naturally closed my window for no reason. They took a linebacker. I'm going to butcher the name, so apologies. Richard Jibinor. They took him in the first round.
Sounds Dutch.
He's actually Nigerian.
Oh, cool.
He played at Troy University, though, for the last few years. He's a linebacker. And then in the second round, they took another linebacker, Alex Reich, R-A-I-C-H. He played at University of Kansas. He is from Switzerland.
Cool.
The CFL draft does get going later tonight. The Elks do not have a first-round pick
They
in
took
that.
Zach Mathis last year.
Yes, they will have a second-round pick. Also, the big story for the CFL draft will be where do the quarterbacks go? Where does Curtis Rourke go? And where does I always forget the quarterback's name.
Did you see Sanders got added to the Argos negotiation list this morning?
I did not see
I
this.
thought that was funny.
There's no shot he would ever play in the CFL.
I don't think so.
I think he's too egotistical that even if it was the only option, he would just choose not to play.
Correct.
Why can't I find
Correct
this?
me if I'm wrong. Is he not the guy that wants to be offense and defense?
No,
Oh,
that's Travis Hunter.
yeah.
And he's
Oh, okay.
going to be
He
doing
would
that. He was
draft
drafted by Jacksonville
Yeah.
second,
Okay.
and he will do it. Taylor Elgersma.
Elgerma.
Elgerma.
I got to.
Elgers. Yeah, okay. I should.
Naylor did a thing on him. I got to watch it.
Yeah, he was Laurier quarterback. He went to the Senior Bowl, which is actually a really big deal.
But wasn't drafted, got offered tryouts or rookie camp offers from a few NFL teams.
And that's where it'll be interesting to see where they go because the NFL always lowers your draft position because teams don't want to use a first round pick with the idea that that player might not come there this year.
Right.
But there are teams that need quarterbacks in the future.
Yeah.
Like Winnipeg, like Saskatchewan. I'm going to throw Hamilton in there. What if Drew Brown doesn't have a great year? Is Ottawa going to be looking for a quarterback? Calgary's got VA. They got, is it PJ Walker they brought in?
Yeah.
With their pie on. I don't know if they would go for that, but maybe they do. There are some teams that you could look and go 2-3 years
Sasky.
from now, are they looking at a quarterback?
Yeah.
You take one of these Canadian quarterbacks now. That is going to intrigue me very much with the CFL draft
Yeah,
tonight.
because it's Trevor Harris. Trevor Harris is already talking about joining TSN. He's still got a year left on his deal, I think, with Saskatchewan.
Regular season wins for the Edmonton Elks on Play Alberta over under 8.5. Minus 152 for the under.
I'm sprinkling.
Plus
over.
110 on the over 8.5. Plus money on the Elks to have 9 or more wins this year.
I would take that.
Jay and I went through it on this show.
Oh.
We went, and on the Reed Wilkins show, we did it once. We counted 10, 11 wins for the Elks. Just throwing that out there. Plus 110 on the Elks to be over 8.5 wins this
A
year.
little sprinkle right there.
So I'm obviously becoming a fan, and just from listening to you guys talk every single day, it's been awesome. But I still can't look at the roster and be like, yeah, this is a really good roster, because I couldn't, to be
It'll
honest,
take you
I
some
do not
time.
know. Yeah, it'll take some time,
You have to
right?
get familiar with the players,
Right.
and there's a lot of movement. I know the CFL is trying to mitigate some of that by getting guys to commit long term, but that has to do with like contracts and the chemistry and the makeup of the organization
Okay.
where they get. And Winnipeg's like the kind of one of the few that's developed this bond to the city lately. Maybe no, not even BC. Not even BC.
No, it's been Winnipeg. Just
been
people
Winnipeg.
stay.
Yep.
And they've taken almost discounts to stick around.
Yeah.
And not
Interesting.
leave in free agency.
Yeah, but you'll follow this year and you'll start picking
For
up,
sure.
remembering names. Oh,
Which
yeah,
I'm really
Yeah.
excited for. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like it's been pretty cool to talk to my dad. Huge Bombers fan his whole life. So, and I was saying on the Nielsen show, I was like, I actually had a CFL conversation with my dad, which is pretty sweet. But what I'm getting at here is, Hernan, he seems to be fairly optimistic. I asked him this last week, and he's like, no, they're good. They're better than last year. But your guys' thoughts on this upcoming season on paper, what they've been able to do?
On paper, outstanding. On the field, we'll find out. Takes some time to come
'Cause
together.
that's the thing.
but-
Like, you look at the Oilers this year, you could argue on paper, a lot of people are saying they're going to be better. And, some people say maybe they weren't this year. But, so you guys optimistic? You like their chances?
The question marks I have is, okay, Trey, it's now your time. Like, there are no excuses anymore. And I've been a big Trey supporter.
Yeah.
But now it's your team. There's this organization believes in you. There isn't threat that Cody Fajardo is going to come in the first few weeks if you play bad. Like, I think it's his team.
Yeah.
You got to go get some wins though. They've brought him weapons. They got Justin Link and Javon Leake and Justin Rankin in the running back. They added Alex Hollins yesterday.
And BC has to pay him $75,000 after they had to go to an arbitration.
So there's still Hollins. You have Julian Grant. You have Stephen
Gittins.
Dunbar.
Yeah.
You have Gittins Jr.
Yeah.
Like and Zach Math. It's like actually the receiving core through free agency. We're like, well, who's he throwing the ball to? And since then, it's like, whoa. Also, there's like 17 guys on the roster right now as wide receivers. Ed's brought in a bunch of receivers for training
that's
camp, so we'll see how that goes out.
Cool.
But so there's that. The O-line, I think, is better. David
D-line.
Beard goes there in the center, moves Cordy to the right. You still have both your tackles that's back. So the only real new person for the organization now, Trey doesn't know Beard that well, I think. They may have played a little bit together. Is the left guard position.
He did mention he did play with him, his first year a bit?
Yeah. But it
minimal.
doesn't have that familiarity of
Yeah,
him behind center
that's
too
fair.
much. The D-line is basically Toronto's D-line from
Which
last
was
year,
excellent.
including the defensive line coach, who were the best last year.
Yeah.
So there's no learning curve. The linebacking core is, for the most part, the same. The two big main
Anderson
boards.
and Morgan.
They're back.
Moncrief is gone.
Yeah, but there's a couple of guys that I don't know who's the main guy that's going to be in the linebacking core. And then the secondary, a lot of Canadians, but you had Terrell for, like, on paper, offensively, defensively, they're better. Special teams,
Cool.
I don't know. Kicker is a question mark. Punter, Cody Grace
can't
is
get
in.
worse than how bad the kicking was last.
You're right. Right.
But not the punting. Punting was great. Jake Julian was phenomenal. That's why he's in the NFL. But Boris Beatty was a total letdown. Like directly cost them a couple of.
But now you're going a younger guy, so I don't know if he can.
Right.
Is he going to be better than Boris
Can he
Beatty?
be better than 75%? Please and thank you.
And then but punter, like Cody Grace is a good punter.
Yeah.
Can he be similar?
Julian was the best.
And
probably.
who's going to return? Hopefully, Leak returns. Special teams is a question mark once again for the Elks to me this year. The other question mark will be Mark Killam. He's never been a head coach.
Right.
Can he be a head coach? Can J.C. Sherritt be a good defensive coordinator?
Right.
Jordan McSimic is a great OC. We've seen that. So I'm not as worried about that one. So there are those question marks that come from. But on paper, I would say it's a battle between the Elks and the Riders for second in the West.
Wow.
I can't take away the Bombers just yet.
Oh, that's exciting.
Ooh.
The Bombers, I think, are taking a step back.
Yeah.
But, last year we thought then they still won the division.
Yeah, they did.
I can't.
Pretty-
I'm not until I
after a
see
tough
now the
start,
Bombers
too.
actually take that step back fully.
Yeah.
I think I've got a different. I think BC is the team that could finish last in the West,
Interesting.
No, they've been
even with
decimated.
Nathan Rourke. I don't like their defense. I don't think they did anything on defense, and their defense was bad last year.
And they lost offensive weapons. Also, the Elks produced a fantastic video that they put out yesterday. Kind of flew under the radar.
Ooh.
Zacticum sent it to
Yeah.
us.
I need to watch that.
Really well done. Shows a little bit of behind the scenes with Hervey, Killam. You get to see JC share it. You get to see some combine meetings too. Interviews
always
with
fun.
players. Very well done. Credit to Richard Baggins and the crew. Mike Arcuri, Dahmer. They have been producing some excellent content, and their social media game the last couple of years has stepped up big time.
Jay says, text me, the additions to the Elks rosters were in all caps, all correct. They addressed all the areas of need, and speaking with Coach Killam, there's a sense that this team can make some noise this year, but it all comes down to Trev Ford.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm worried about the first 3 games, I'm not going to lie.
I was gonna say this is probably got to be the biggest first game of the season in recent
Well, they're
years.
out in BC, so it's a battle of 2 Canadian quarterbacks, which is also cool.
That is
but
cool.
I never like going to BC. I always think there's weirdness that happens.
Yeah.
How do I relate it in hockey? What's the closest relationship I would have in hockey? Where it's just sometimes, I guess maybe LA. It always seems the Oilers have some weirdness thing that happens in LA. The no goal in game 1, the high stick from Moore last year,
Oh yeah.
or was that last
2
year?
years.
Yes.
Velarde.
Or was that last
Yeah, I
year?
think it was
Velarde.
Velarde. So it's just there's always something weird that happens when the Oilers go to LA.
Yeah.
There's always something weird that when teams go and play in BC at night. And they're going to BC on that night. And then they take
get
a
shut
bye
out.
week, but then they come to Montreal. Montreal comes to town, who are a good football team. And then they go to Winnipeg. And it's going to Winnipeg that concerns me. So the first, they need to take either game 1 or game 2. And I'll feel really good. Because I could see them being 1 and 2 for the
that
first
bye
3
week
weeks. And I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's just, and I could see them being 0-3, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I think they'll pick up their wins the rest of the season, but for the fan base, it will be a bad thing. And
That's
to just
that's
calm
what
the waters, they need an early win.
For sure. That's what I like just from, I'm always kind of relating it to the Oilers and just the bad starts, what it does for them and just seeing how those fans react. I mean, it's still Edmonton, right? So first game of the season, I feel like maybe it's not a must win, but it would go such a long way with this team, especially after all the changes they made.
I agree. And Maddie's right. You kind of set the mindset, put it down the right path with that weird buy in week 2.
Yeah.
I get it.
Jay says Minnesota or Columbus, the relation. For the Oilers, go to Minnesota or Columbus. There's always that weirdness. Or
see
losses
that.
or whatever. That's maybe that might be the example there.
Here's
I hate going to BC.
Well, you're right. It's always that late
It's
game.
something. There's
It's
always something that happens.
peculiar in a way.
The clock runs just a few extra seconds on a
Sure.
late in the game or
It's weird.
something. You're like, this always happens in BC.
Yeah. Ian texts in. Here's one that's this is a bit different. Ian says, first time in 20 years, I won't go to all Elks games. They pissed me off over the past few years, but because of that, the Riverhawks get more of my money. I appreciate that the Riverhawks are getting some of his money. But for the Elks, they have pissed off a lot of people. To their credit, in the last less than calendar year, maybe calendar year, they have done a lot to recognize and try to right a lot of the wrongs on and off the field. And with the new ownership, new management team, it seems like people are starting to warm up to them again. So I understand where Ian's coming from. And I appreciate that Ian's taken the money he would spend not going to all Elks games. He's going to go to a few, it sounds like, but then going to the Riverhawks. And you're going to have a great time too. It's a different experience, a lot of fun.
Yeah, if you go back here, so the board decided that they need to sell. Larry Thompson
God.
steps up. They then go and
Clutch.
they bring Chris Morrison, who then brings Ed back, who then hires Mark Killam, who then they also say then Trey Ford is our guy. And I think that there's just win after win after win after win of doing the right things and doing the right things for the fan base, that they are trying to turn this tide. And just right off the bat of having Chris Morrison and Hervey, just those two who are Eskimos / now Elks in this, that is just their recognition of we need to get back as an organization what they're saying to being what we once were.
Yes.
And that's this path. You can't have outsiders come in for that organization.
And steal the show.
But like that's like it's
That's good. That's really good.
you need people
I get it.
connected to this organization. Like it's a historic
Can't hit.
franchise. It's you want the right people running it that send it in the right direction.
Yeah.
Back to what this and it's one of those, like, the community knows what they want out of this, and unless you're part of that community within that, it's going to be hard to learn that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Chris Presson I don't know if he would have ever learned that if he was around. Right?
That's true.
It's just you're not from it. Where Chris Moore spent many years part of it, and then many years connected to it by going to the Golden Bears. Ed is that same thing.
Deeply entrenched.
But and it just, he bled green and gold.
Yeah.
It just was weird seeing him in BC colors. It was weird seeing him in Ticats colors because he was green and gold.
Sean texting in 780-218-9999, Paris Jewelers inbox. Loving the CFL talk. Keeps my mind off of the Oilers and Kings. Lots of nervous energy for tonight's game. Also looking forward to hang out at Elks games at the EST tailgate this season. Sean, yes, we got preparations going for that, right?
I was just going to ask that.
I have no idea fully where we're at with that. That's all I'll say.
Oh, okay. Well, the guy that has all the answers did not have an answer. I thought we're gonna get our tent with the table. And
we're gonna
thing.
get the tent and table. We haven't confirmed anything.
Oh,
when
okay.
it
Well,
comes to tailgate or
it's
anything.
in progress. Let's call it that.
We'll figure it out.
Oh, Ian wants the upper bowl reopened. Yeah,
I
but
was-
Ian, people need to show up.
Yeah, that's
and actually not showing up is counterintuitive to getting it reopened.
Exactly. That's. I don't want to call it Ian there, but that is. I understand that because I went to a few games with Mooner a couple years ago.
Well,
up
he
there.
was upper deck. He
It's
loved
the
it.
best seats.
I want to sit up there so bad.
But that is looking just very like it's all about me, not the organization. And the best thing for the organization right now is to close that upper deck,
Create demand.
to create demand and create an atmosphere. And once that demand and atmosphere comes back, then they could sit there and like, well, we are now forced to open up the upper deck again. Because we can't just only go with, 30,000 fans week in and week out when we could sell more. That demand has to come back. Like, it's counterintuitive. You could be mad about that, but
You're not showing up.
you're actually
making it
hurting that
worse.
cause
Yeah.
of opening more. Instead, it's almost, and I'm not saying you have to go buy your season tickets anymore, but if you go to a few games throughout the year, which he said, I think he's still going to
Yeah,
go to
he
some.
said he's
right?
not going to all.
Yeah, and that's fair
go to
then. So
Riverhawks.
he's still good on that. But it's also encouraging others to go to try to get the lower bowl filled so that the Elks have no choice but to say, we're opening the upper deck again. And then you can go get your seats back in the upper deck.
When they won, was it 2015 or 2016?
15.
2015.
Yeah,
So when they
10-year
won,
anniversary.
10 years ago.
And it was in Winnipeg, and the Grey Cup's in Winnipeg this year. Just throwing that out there.
Oh, look at that.
As the
Okay.
world turns.
Yeah. Was it
Interesting.
that season? Was it pretty bumping? Has it been
they were
that
a
quick
great-
of a?
They were an excellent team the year prior and that year, and they went
So,
on a huge run at the end
If you
of the
look at the
Close to
attendances,
sellouts?
it's no. It's but if you look at attendances, it's slowly been a steady drop.
Yeah.
And even then, it was a
2018
little
it went
bit
back up because of Grey Cup.
But then it's been a bit of also a steady decline with that.
Okay.
After Mike Riley left, Trevor Harris had one good year.
They got the playoffs. They went. How did it go? I think crossover West crossover.
Yeah.
Would that be?
I think they made the West final.
Wait,
lost
does
to
that even
Calgary.
work? Riley would have been part of that little trend there. But yeah, they haven't been because it is a ridiculously massive stadium. If the Elks were selling
It's
out,
the biggest stadium in Canada.
well,
It
if
is.
they were selling out, it would be 55,000 game in
Yeah.
and game out, and that would be unheard of almost in the CFL
Yeah.
since the 80s type thing.
Ian
Yeah.
says he agrees, but when it tripled my cost, I can't justify.
I agree with that. I know
Yeah.
that came up there, or
Prices
you had to
went
go
up
in
during that time, right?
Yeah, or you had to go to different spots which weren't equal.
Yeah.
And it's messed with things, but
Yeah.
hopefully, again, here's where I like if I could go a hope, and we'll get back to the Oilers here right
Obviously.
away. But
yes.
if the Elks can get off to a nice okay, I'm gonna look at their schedule here quickly because I want to get into August type thing. So they go BC, Montreal, BC, Montreal, Winnipeg, Ottawa, BC, Sask, Hamilton, August long. If they could be, so how many games is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games. 5-2?
Then I think you start to see.
Could there be a buzz for the Labor Day rematch right there that they could really just
Yeah.
start pushing tickets in
Especially
August?
if Calgary's
sold.
half decent.
If you sell the lower bowl mid-August, maybe the Elks sit there and go,
Why not?
we're opening up the upper deck.
Boom.
create a nice little buzz for that rematch, and that's where it starts, and then maybe it builds. Okay, well, we got to get to other games because look at it's exciting, and like if they can be like 5-2, 4-3 as you're through it into August, it could be so huge for their business.
I'd like it. I would like it a lot. Iwanyk.
Henny in the nasty chat. Oh, VR first. I'm an Elks season ticket holder. Meow. Gonna party hard with Boom Boom on the party deck.
Boom Boom's ready to party on the party deck.
Why the meow?
I don't know, but that was a very funny meow.
I really liked his DJ request to you.
Oh my God.
Titanium by...
Get out of here.
Did you get the It's My Lady Jam?
Yeah. I didn't get it, but I read it. I don't know what it means.
It's Pitch Perfect.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a Pitch Perfect thing.
Yeah, it was funny.
That's when everyone's like, that's good VR, because he also like Bella's. I don't know, Bella's Forever, or whatever it is.
Which one is the one with Flula Borg?
Who's that?
It's a German guy. He's
he's
a comedian.
That was
2 or 3.
Yeah, that's 2. That Das Sound Machine.
Yeah, Das Sound Machine.
No, it's Bella's. It's Haley Steinfeld. She joins the Bellas.
They were intimidating.
That's why Josh Allen. Josh Allen is part of the Bellas now.
They were intimidating in that second one.
Henny, enjoy your 2 pity wins. When the Kings take the lead today, will you finally kneel to the crown?
Who sent that in?
Yeah, I know he was on the morning
nasty
show
chat,
as well.
was he?
He said the Kings own the Oilers. I don't know where you've been the last 3 years.
Well,
You
also
might
2
wanna-
pity wins.
Your
Look,
team can't keep a lead. How about that?
Well, I'll go. If anything, the LA Kings
You don't know what you're
are
talking about.
scared of the Edmonton Oilers at the very least. At least we can go to Game 4. They were scared of the Edmonton Oilers.
Quivering.
Why didn't they attack? When you play defensively, it's because you're scared. Because if you open things up, you're worried that you're going to give up a goal. So it's like, well, we have to hold this 1 goal lead because the Oilers will find a way to score, but you still let them score.
Yeah.
You're scared at that point. So you could call that a pity
Quivering.
win.
They were shaking.
The second, at the very least, the Game 4 win, the Oilers tying the series up, that wasn't a pity win. That was the Kings were outplayed and scared.
Boom.
We'll see what happens.
What do you got to say about that, Henny?
Big Uke, I can believe it. Hashtag Bella for life. So, there it is.
That Aka thing I remember.
Aka-tastic.
They were the first 2 were pretty good movies.
They were actually.
The third
I didn't
one
mind it. I didn't
was,
see the third one.
Yeah, the
I'll
third
still
one
watch
was
the
meh.
third one.
The first one really, it won a lot of dudes over, I think.
It was fun.
Because
Yeah, it was.
I know my mom and sister saw it, and then I actually went with my stepdad, and we were
You saw
like,
it in theater?
yeah. And I was like, this was Aka amazing. At the end of it, it was a pretty cool song, or a pretty cool movie. I was doing the cup song.
That's a good song too.
Do you guys memorize that? I did.
Did you know how to do the cups?
Maybe.
Seriously?
No.
Are you just saying that because I'm going to go get solo cups and like you have to do it now?
No, I can't do it.
Were you able to at any point in your life?
No, but I will say I definitely
Tried?
tried several times. But I just did the chest instead because it's way easier. But
What's the
anyway,
chest
we'll do
thing?
that behind the scenes.
What's the chest thing?
I'll do it.
Is it from the movie?
Scenes. No, I just did it. I
The
my own
Wolf of
rendition.
Wall Street thing?
No,
That
not
Matthew
that.
McConaughey did?
I just did the beat, but on my chest.
I see.
instead.
Okay. No, I was just curious where you were going there. Did you guys hear Hernan sing yesterday?
Yeah, that was
It's
amazing.
great.
I started laughing. I
Hernan.
cranked it up on my way to the station today, and I started laughing. And Gager dancing to it was pretty funny too.
He's the songbird of our generation.
Yeah.
When Gager starts singing at the end, he's so excited. He's like a little kid.
I don't know. I've never
watch
seen.
Gager's face there, and he's like the happiest little thing ever. And then Hernan did a fantastic job.
I've personally never seen that version of Gager, but I would like to a lot more because it made me feel good.
You've never seen that version of Gager?
No.
He's always like a little child.
Has anyone seen that version?
Yeah, he's
always
a
like,
little.
hey, everyone, Trev.
Oh my god, I'm looking for Rob from the Grove in the discussion. Rob from the Grove, if you're listening, EST table for 10 under your name.
Boom.
Boom. Thank you to Connor over at Hudson's.
It's gonna be. What's the 10? We got 16 today.
Beautiful day.
How's the wind gonna be? 8 o'clock, 40 kilometers, but then 9 o'clock it drops 13 degrees. Might be a nice patio night too out there. Because I got the nice patios.
They do have a nice patio. It's right on White, and then they've got the other one on Gateway.
I like the Gateway one. I've sat there a few times in my life, and it's a good spot. I like being sitting on the patio and having drinks.
So
I watched the Kings beat the Canucks on that patio
The Kings beat the Canucks
years ago.
Okay.
Good patio.
So the White Ave was the place to be in the 06 run.
Yes, 100%.
And then it transitioned to Jasper because of Rogers Place.
It's
And
not
then-
in Jasper, it's Ice District.
Ice
that-
District.
Yeah,
But
that area.
That stretch was
downtown
bumping last.
pretty. I mean, it still has a lot of work to happen to make it better, but it's way better than it was. In 2004, you weren't going, or 2006, you weren't going downtown to party that much. There was
Okay.
And there was no
sidetrack happening.
playoffs in between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My generation got screwed.
I know.
My 10-year generation of like
Yeah.
grades where it's a little too
Yeah,
young
that's tough.
for 06. And then by the time the Oilers get good again, we're in our 30s
Yeah.
and we're too old for the moss pit and stuff.
I remember telling you that. I'm like, dude, like I couldn't have been an Oilers fan at the worst time in my life. Like I just started cheering for them. And then when I was in school, it wasn't until I graduated, I guess, finished grade 12, my first year after, they finally made the playoffs. And then Matty sat me down. He's like, you think you had it bad? I was like, okay, well, now that I think of it like that, yeah, that's way worse than what I had.
Like all the 30-olds right now, I would say like 28 to like 36 or something in that range.
That stretch. Tough go if you're an Oilers fan.
There was
living
not
in the
that
city.
and like especially if you're like 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 34. You can't go in the moss pit right now.
Yeah. No.
Oh, I walked through it to get to the rink, and it was like median age was probably 19.
Exactly. Like you as soon as you
Just
go in, people are just
sloppy.
gonna look at you like
There's
you're a pedo.
kids.
Like
Yeah.
and it's like
There's
like
kids
the
in there.
30-year-old can't go in there. So like missed out. Like
no.
we don't get any of that party.
And I
we
don't
got none of that.
I don't know how these kids do it. Like, there's only 2 or 3 rows of porta potties. Like, these people are you peeing your pants? It's awful.
If you're a guy, you can go on the side of the porta potty, I'm guessing.
That's gross, man. Remember Zach from our old shop?
yeah.
He and a couple of people from our Bell went and sat and watched in the moss pit, and they're like, we literally saw a guy just pee his pants because he couldn't make it to the bathroom.
Oh, gosh.
At that point, I'm just going home.
So my surprise face.
For you, it's easy.
I know, like if I piss my pants, I'm not gonna stay in my pissed
I'm not
pants
gonna
for the rest
hang
of
out.
this game.
Someone smells like piss.
I know you don't want to be that guy.
No.
Yeah, no one does.
But yeah, my generation, we didn't
That's
get
tough.
any of that party.
And
That's tough.
The other thing I've noticed, because like on the way from the rink back to Ice House, is now in the pedways, there's just like high school kids hanging out in the pedways,
Yeah.
trying to be around it, right? Because they can't get in because it's not legal drinking age, but they want to be around it. So they're walking and hanging out in the pedways, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I was talking to Tim from Ice House. He's in charge of security for Ice House and Banquet. And he goes, yeah, man, if they get rowdy, they get kicked out because there's beefed up security there. But he goes, it's just high school kids that can't get into the watch party in the moss pit.
Yeah, when I walked the last 2 nights walking out of Rogers Place, just going to my place, and then I have to walk around. It's just like, wow, there's a lot of young kids here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's neat, but at the same time, I'm like, what are you doing? You're not even watching the game.
I know.
They're not there
Seeing
for the
some of the
game, though.
videos.
For the party.
They're there for the
I'm
party.
they're there for the vibe, and I'm also
Yes.
fine with that.
Yeah.
Because like I'll say that like it's one thing I'm jealous of Calgary for. There's only one thing I could say I'm jealous of Calgary for. And that's the Stampede seems like just a good party for 10 days.
Awesome. It's a
The
great
city
time.
embraces it.
Yeah.
It's just something that everyone can go party at. We don't have that. Arcade A's doesn't have that around it.
That's true. K-Days is dying. Like,
We
it's
don't
just-
have that party, that thing that the city can just get together and for a week, we're just going to have a good time.
Yeah.
And at least the playoffs of the Oilers gives people that.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm cool with it. Just something
Okay,
that
that's a
people
good
can go have a
point.
good mood, be in a good mood, and go party. And when the next day, when everyone's tired, it's like, yeah, we all understand why it's happening. And during Stampede, everyone knows for sure that everyone's going to be absolutely beat the next day.
Yeah.
And for that week. Until we could come up with some way to make our own Stampede, just for Edmonton.
We can become pirates. It's funny because for that 10-day stretch during Stampede, you'll get like accounting firms with like Linda in reception. She's a cowgirl for the whole 10 days. And the little Asian man that you only said hi to 5 times, he's a full-on cowboy for the week. And then you've got the Bob Sacamano cement truck.
Yeah,
and you've got Italian Guidos wearing cowboy boots and the cowboy hat pouring cement. Like it's that
They embrace it.
everybody buys in, right?
We're
Like
cowboys.
it doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, you're a cowboy for 10 days. And as much as I like to laugh and mock at that, it is a great atmosphere. We do not have that.
Edmonton does not have that. So at
We
least
do
in the
not have
Oilers
that.
playoff,
Yes.
it gives, even just if you don't care about the Oilers, you go around, you can be around that vibe.
Yeah.
There's just got to be a way for a little bit of older people to be around it. That's not just, 18, 19-year-olds and stuff.
Yeah.
I also, and I will throw this out there, and I know I just hope that one day when the Elks get good, like this whole
Something
party.
similar.
No, I will never be this like at the similar, but like could 20% of the people
Yeah.
that are going to the Mosp or something be around the Elks playoff thing? Like if they ever get to the playoffs, like go support your other professional team that's in town.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying everyone, like could 20% of you like buy into the Elks if they ever make the get back when
Make
they
it
get back to
fun.
the playoffs?
I'd like that.
And get like it's not, you don't have to go to every game. You don't have to go to the tailgate, but maybe if there's a West final here, buy in and we can go and cheer on the Edmonton Elks.
It's okay to say Esks.
Fingers crossed on that.
And
one.
Eskimos.
Fingers crossed on that one. Official drink of the EST Hangout. It is the Finnish long drink legend, a 1952, a drink unlike any other sparkling refreshment, real liquor, longdrink.com/Canada. Where you can enter your postal code and find a liquor store or an establishment nearest you with the long drink in stock for your Oiler viewing tonight.
Boom.
Also, if you're going to Game 6 on Thursday, you can get it at Rogers Place. Their partnership is with OEG. So is the partnership with Play Alberta and OEG. And Play Alberta is now on board with Edmonton Sports Talk.
Huge
And all
Look at
that
this cool
coming
swag
together.
we got. We look so good.
A long drink, Play Alberta with Oilers. Us
that
with
right?
Play Alberta and the
Oh.
long
Did
drink.
you see that?
Adidas.
There you go.
Boom. Just all coming together. As I said,
This
the
guy,
I didn't even see that.
the
Look at how
trident
excited
type
he-
thing. Yeah, I
yeah.
know.
The Oilers on the
You
left
got
arm there. That's
Oilers,
cool.
Elks, EST.
I like it.
It's that
It's
simple.
amazing, man. Pretty cool.
Jordan said that these are for playoff edition swag.
So it's limited edition.
There you go.
I love
It's
limited.
It's so soft.
LTD.
too. Like it's not one of those heavy hoodies.
Yeah.
Which is perfect for spring and summer.
That's right.
love
Or the morning
It feels great.
or the evening.
I'm
gonna wear this
This
all
is
year.
short. This is perfect with shorts.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like the size of it's not that thick one that you're like, okay, I'm gonna be a little warm in this. And this one you could sit in all day with your shorts. And I've got my flip flops today.
So if you didn't catch it, Dusty announced earlier on the Hangout, we have partnered up with Play Alberta, multi-year deal. And we're going to be unveiling that May 1st. And then there will be, as Jordan was saying from Play Alberta today, some perks. We're going to do some giveaway stuff, talking some tie-in with the Elks, really cool contests and stuff like that. So you benefit from it as well. And we are very excited about this new partnership. Plus, Trev got new swag today.
cool swag.
the
Yeah.
hats are sharp.
Yeah, we look good, boys. We look good.
There you go.
And I'm gonna start betting.
Well,
Book it.
use your game sense. As
Yeah,
they like to
I will
say.
use my game sense, but I've always wanted to, and now I'm going to.
Bumbo says, first time season ticket holder for the Elks this year. The only problem is I'm a Stamps fan. Oh, well, lots of fun to go with the family. Bumbo, and that's great because you're in Edmonton. You go cheer on your Stamps when they're here.
You cheer against the Elks at that point. I'm
Sure.
not saying you should, but
It's
if,
not
if
right,
you're a
but-
Stamps fan, like that's if I was an Elks fan going into McMahon, I'd always be cheering against the Stamps in that one.
Yeah.
But you're watching the CFL, and that's partly also what matters.
Boom.
The Oilers are now plus 100 on the money line. Did I say plus 110 before?
I don't
Or
really
did I say
remember.
plus 100 before? I feel like I said plus 110 before.
So they switched.
Well,
line
the drop,
has
it's
moved.
dropped
It moved,
a bit.
yeah.
So the Kings are minus 133. I don't remember what it was before, but at least for the Oilers, a little bit has been put on the Oilers that it's dropped it to get. So if you're on Play Alberta, you might want to jump on the Oilers if you're feeling good about them tonight.
Here's hoping, man. I think winner takes this one. Like, I know I was telling Gager this. He's like, well, no, that's not completely true. Because I said, whoever wins this game, I believe, takes the series. He's like, well, no. And like, you look what happened to the Oilers. They were down 2 and they were able to come back. So you never know what happens. But I just think this game is pivotal. It is. And
Yeah,
so,
of course.
I don't know. I'm nervous. I'm optimistic. I like their chances, but at the end of the day, they really need to just go out there and just
It'd be nice if
set the pace
they took the game
to them.
from start to finish
Yeah.
instead of riding these waves of emotion that they're putting the fan base through. But I don't know if they have any other way of doing it in their repertoire.
Yeah. And that's the frustrating thing. That's why I'm on the fence. Like, I don't know. There's a glimmer of hope and I'm so close to just grabbing it, but I don't know.
If the Oilers have a bad 40 tonight, they're not winning.
Yeah.
What do you mean? They
can-
get better. In the
I
third
think
period.
this, but I
you
think
can only
like
do that
Kings,
so many
I think
times.
I'm going to catch it a little too much. Like if I had to make a prediction, like that'd be my prediction.
Kings
I feel
clamp
like
it
the
down.
Kings would lock that down. They are a better home team. We saw them lock it down one of the 2 games. So I feel like it might be a little bit hard. They don't have the crowd behind them. You know, like that does help too. Where like the Oilers, you know, they score, that crowd erupts, and that gives them a little extra boost.
Atmosphere is
I
great
think
in there,
the
by
Oilers
way.
need to have a much better 40 minutes. And I shouldn't say much better. They need to have just a bit better of 40 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't think it has to be that
I don't
much
disagree
better.
with that at all.
If they do
proven
have,
they
if
can-
they look a little bit better through 40, they're winning the hockey game.
Yep, that's
That-
okay.
that-
yeah, I'm
that-
not disagreeing with you. I'm
if
just
they're
saying
down,
they can win when
I know,
they're
but
down.
if they're down
They've done it,
3 goals going into the third,
I'm not counting them out.
I wouldn't count them out fully, but I'm not liking their chances. After 40 minutes, the last 2 games, I said the Oilers were winning it to Reed.
Yeah.
Like I'm like I wasn't worried about the Oilers, but going to LA, it is a little bit of a different beast, and that's where I will give the Kings a bit of benefit of the doubt that they are home for that one.
Yeah. I agree.
It'd be nice to see the Oilers maybe have a lead going into the third period,
Oh, absolutely. It
and
would.
seeing if the Kings could push and try to equalize it.
Right.
You cannot overlook Kempe. Like I'm just blown away he is not a 100-point player. Like his career high, I think, was 2 years ago, 77 points.
But do you have 40 goals though?
Yeah, but like
He's a scorer.
And then this year, 70 points, I believe it was. But like, he is just so fun to watch. He is an Oilers killer. He's got that swagger. He is everything you want an offensive player. He's
a great winner.
I love watching him. But he is just destroying the Oilers and continues
Not last
to do
game.
so. Yeah, no, he was quiet.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's gonna be a good one. I can't wait, and it'll be fun.
You know how long the Oilers have led in this series?
Oh,
Like
don't tell me.
29
Don't tell
minutes.
Is that it?
me.
That's it.
They didn't even. Do you count if they led it all last game for a second? Like,
Yeah.
not even.
No. They did not lead.
They did
last
not
game.
lead. They just
that
happened to
doesn't-
win.
Yeah, it
Doesn't count as
consider it a win.
leading at all.
That's not a
Yeah. Oh, brother.
Yeah, it was all game
3
Game 1, they didn't
Game-
lead.
from game 3.
Game 2,
That was
they
the only
didn't.
time.
Yeah, game
That was the
3
first time they
had-
held a lead
Yeah.
against the Kings since
2-0.
December.
They got up
And
to
then they
2-0
blew
lead,
that.
and then they took the lead after the Bouchard goal,
Yep.
and then they
And
held
then hung
on to that.
Yeah. That is correct.
Oh,
That is correct.
Henny's back in.
Henny, hello.
Oh, what do you want?
He's also starting to spam, so I'm gonna mute him very shortly here if it keeps happening. Just like I have no problem with troll like coming in.
Give me a
cheering for your
funny,
team.
creative troll.
Henny
but
is
it's-
Kings
if you're
fan?
a
Yeah,
loser
but if
troll?
you end like if all I see is your name at one point, then you're spamming, and I'll clean up the nasty chat just
gone.
because it's easier
You
for us.
outta here, Henny.
Kings own you. I am happy sipping on some Henny in LA. Beautiful, amazing. We love it here, and when you come over, you will kneel to the crown. Which actually, I'll give credit to the kneel to the crown
Kneel
line.
to the crown.
Um,
to the crown. How about that?
How did the last 3 years go? Smitty asked him. Rebuild for the last 3 years. Tough, easy win for the Oilers, but now we have the team. There's a reason it's 2-2. Well, what's the reason? The Kings lost?
You don't know what you're talking
That doesn't make any sense.
I love this back and forth, and he's reading the nasty chat.
yeah.
The Oilers or the Kings
Destroy 'em,
don't own. You
nasties.
can't say the Kings own the Oilers until they actually win a series.
Yeah. Destroy.
Edmonton is 8-2 in playoff series against LA over the course of the franchise's history.
Connor, in the last 3-year stint, including this year as well, I guess, Connor, Leon, and Bouchard have a combined over 120 points against the Kings.
Yeah.
Combined. So
if the
those
Kings-
3 own the Kings. How about that?
Yeah.
It's 14-8. The Oilers' record is against the Kings in the last 4 years in the playoffs.
Like wins.
Three.
Wins
right.
versus losses.
Yeah,
It's
8-2
14-8
series.
right now.
Yeah.
That's a
significant.
Convincing.
that is a significant. Like if that was NHL record type thing, you average that over 80. That's a good season type thing.
Yeah.
Bow
to the crown, though. Like
Yeah, that's not.
Meh. I don't think so.
Yeah, like, Henny, if the Oilers lose tonight, then yeah, maybe you have a little more to say tomorrow. But if the Oilers, like, I'll say this, Henny, the Kings are lose tonight, I expect you in the nasty chat today or tomorrow on the Hangout. It's easy to troll when your team's winning.
Yep.
Got to deal with it if your team loses. And hey, look, I'll happily read your messages if the Oilers lose tonight on the Hangout as well.
Inbox right now. Henny is delusional, just like Hiller.
Oh,
Snap.
yeah.
All Kings fans are not happy with him.
Nor should they be. Bernstein, can't wait to talk to him tonight on the pregame show.
That'll be fun. Is he gonna
Well, he'll dive into what
that
when-
interaction a little
that
bit?
was, but that's just DB being DB. Like it's DB's DB. Like he's not going to change. He's not
Okay.
going to be rattled by that. this isn't his first confrontation with the coach. That he really asked the question that needed to be asked. What are you going to change in your third periods? It's not working.
Yeah.
It worked 1 out of 4 games so far.
It's funny. Oiler fans complain sometimes that the nuclear line happens too quickly. Every coach puts Connor and Leon together. LA Kings coaches just go to that way. It's the Todd McClellan, Jim Hiller now type thing that just keeps happening.
Yeah.
You don't learn from those things. What else happened in the show? Oh, by the way, I do have an Elks hoodie on today for the draft. I did wear my Elks thing. Go Elks today.
Beautiful.
Nice. For that. Actually, there's not much to say. Go Elks. You got Leafs able to end their series against the Sens. You've got Hurricanes able to end their series against the Devils, and then a 2-2 series, Wild and Golden Knights.
Which has been a decent one.
Yeah.
I like that series. I think I had the Wild taking that one in 7.
Did you really?
Did you?
I still think.
They were so close in the last one. They just. I
Yeah.
don't. Well,
What if the Wild win tonight?
I just
That'd be
based
wild.
it. They were.
Oh, that was terrible. Not thinking. My bad.
Golden Knights minus 250 on the money line to play Alberta. Minnesota Wild plus 175. Leafs minus 167. Sens plus 130. And the Hurricanes minus 278. Devils plus 210 on the money line.
Timberwoodsman also adds, tell DB I'm sorry for questioning him pregame. I'll tell him. Thanks, Timberwoodsman.
Yep.
Bernstein, he's a cool
DB,
cat, man. Doesn't get rattled by anything.
No, that was cool. Ever since last year, I can't get it out of my head though. But sounds like Christopher Walken. A little
He's
bit.
from New York.
Yeah. That's like every time I hear him, like I close my eyes, I see Christopher Walken.
Yeah, like DB, born and raised in New York. Like short, he was in with Red Bull very early. I think he was a sales guy, and then obviously loves hockey and was very successful and helped Pagnotta create fourth period, and they've been running for over a decade and a half, I think.
Boys.
And DB he does it for love of the game. He loves covering a team, and he lives in LA now with his lovely wife Patty, and he doesn't give a crap what a coach has to say about him.
Which is what I love.
He's gonna
about
do his
him.
thing. Like DB's been around, he's experienced, he's good at what he does.
Yeah, he is.
He's a character, a great personality, a good friend. That's why and some people, and I think he won over some of the nasties
For sure he did.
last game with the post game, because I was seeing their reaction to what Hiller reacted to DB with, and I'm like, oh my God, like, are they warming up to Dennis Bernstein?
Yeah, you know what? They're like,
sometimes they like to be his foil, and he's a genuine, sincere guy, and he loves it coming up here.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah,
He
he's
has a
always
great
so
time.
nice. So thanks to you, Tommy, and everyone at Edmonton Sports Talk. He always says it's a real cool dude.
Great guy, good friend, very good friend. Even likes Iwanyk.
Well,
Which,
he says that.
a lot of people
It's just
do.
he's so kind, he'll just say that.
No.
Don't kid yourself, Manny. A lot of people like you.
Jeffy says,
My mom says so.
Yeah. Jeffy says, I love DB's final comment after Hiller kept coming back to him. Well, it's happened in 3 games now. What a beauty DB is. Yeah, thank you, Jeffy. He's awesome. He's salt of the earth. Good man. Very popular when he's around here too.
I also understand, like, as a coach, what else are you going to say?
But
You
Hiller,
could outright say, like, yeah, you want us, maybe we have to change things up. But
Yeah,
you're also
like-
going to just defend your decision to a degree. That's the other side. And
Reed brought something interesting up about Hiller, like, and Reed, I think Reed, if I'm putting words into his mouth, apologies, Reed, text me and give me crap. But Reed almost said it seemed like an air of, he's being a little bit arrogant, Hiller, because there was a question after game 3 that Hiller was asked something, and he goes, I think you're asking about this. And it wasn't. He was kind of trying to flip
the question
the question a little bit. And Reed didn't like that. And Reed's like, I think Hiller's being a bit arrogant, trying to control the press conference in that manner. And then that interaction with Dennis, Reed talked about it post game too. He's like, I think that's along the lines of what we heard from Hiller post game 3.
The other thing that looks to me too is also, though, sometimes when you're wrong, but you have to defend it, you just double down. And that might be, he knows he's wrong, but he can't admit it. So he's just going to dive in on that.
Does that not make it look worse though?
Sure. But when it, like, your back's pushed up against the wall, sometimes you just choose to be like, well, whatever. Like, it seems like this is the wrong word, so lack of a better term right now, but he's a little sensitive to that.
Yes.
So it's like,
good point.
Dennis hit the sore spot on him. And instead of going the one way, which is maybe like, hey, yeah, maybe we need to look at something
Yeah, look
different.
at it, yeah.
Or maybe if even like he wants to defend it, like, yeah, you want to, like, I don't see it that way, or but being calm. You got him emotionally there. Like he's like, oh no, like, and then he fully went out because he knows he's wrong. Sometimes you see that, like, it's just like you hit that sore spot with him.
Yeah.
And the reaction sometimes when you get those things with people is just to just lose it. And I feel like maybe that was Jim Hiller too.
That's fair.
That's true. Maybe it's both.
I think good read there. Timberwoodsman also adds this, and I like this from Timberwoodsman. Dennis makes his way to Edmonton for the games. Meanwhile, TNT calls games remotely. Yeah. Jackie, they sent Jackie up here. Jackie had to go back to Kansas City last night for Raw, and she this morning is on her way to LA. Jackie's a trooper, man. Like, she is awesome.
Busy gal.
Yeah, play-by-play team out of Atlanta calling the games, which is unfortunate.
I did not know that was a thing.
And Bernstein, yes, has traveled back and forth and has his reservation booked for Game 6.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't imagine that. Dusty went he got pretty animated about that, but you can't
But I
really
get
blame
it,
him.
like,
That's pathetic.
During COVID, they tried. They've
Makes
cheaped
a
out
little
on
more
Olympics,
sense.
and they do it. But Olympics is such a huge thing; it's a little bit different. But like, I know right now with Toronto and Joe Bowen, Lou, I think it was Lou Lamoriello kicked all the media off the plane. Did that to the Islanders media too, by the way, which is ridiculous, and it's actually more costly for them as well, rather than having them on the charter. But in Toronto, there was like a joke that Joe Bowen and the Leafs play-by-play crew are being allowed to hike to Ottawa for the next game.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Not a good look. Not a good look at all.
No, it's not. And it does take away from the broadcast, because there are things you see when you're watching the game in the arena that aren't captured on the camera that you can discuss. And then you got your color analyst down below, like Louis sits between the benches, and he can see things, and it just adds to the broadcast, and it brings you closer to the game. If you're calling it from a monitor, all you're doing is going off of what the producer and director are giving you from the truck.
Yeah. I can't imagine doing that. Like, that would, they make it look easy, I feel like, but that would,
because they're good.
They're good, but that would not be fun. I couldn't do that.
It's not the right way to do it. However, this is an odd one. This is where there's 3 TV crews, because the regional Kings broadcast is also happening.
Yeah, they get that. The regionals allowed is just first round, or is it first, second round?
I think it's first. Because I was talking with Patrick O'Neill, who's the host. He's the gene of their regional, and he's like, yeah. And it flips which channel they're on. He was saying too in LA. But yeah, so it's nationally televised on TNT, but you can watch it regionally in LA. They don't black out TNT. And then up in Canada, we have Rogers doing it. So there's 3 TV broadcasts, which is very rare. The only real other time it happens is Habs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but then, like,
Because
as you progress through the playoffs, like last year, Espanol was here, which was great. DVD would hop on NHL.com's Espanol.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, he actually did a hit in LA with them.
Good for him.
Last
awesome.
week, and he was showing it to me, and it's hilarious.
What a
It's great.
flex.
It's awesome. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Final minute or so. Prediction for today.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, gosh. I want to say Oilers win so bad, Tommy and Maddie.
You say whatever your heart tells you to.
You want to just be.
Well, and I think that's
playoffs,
the
man. I
scary
don't care.
thing. I think deep down it's telling me that they're not going to win. But I've
Are you
said that
doing
the
reverse
last,
psychology?
maybe. Said that the last 2
lower
games.
the bar. You won't be upset fully.
Touche.
Oh, you know what? Screw it. The Oilers get the dub 4-2. I think Adam Henrique scores his first of the series.
Oh, he's been better.
Yeah, he has been. That's my series. Let's go. Let's go, Nasties.
GCLD's Oil Stream pregame show 6:30 today. The Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne, but Jay and myself will be on from 3 until 6:30 today. We'll have an extended show. We got EST afternoons. We got 2 guys in a goalie. We got the lock shop also. The news of today from Edmonton Sports Talk. We're very thrilled to announce our partnership now with Play Alberta on a multi-year deal.
Round of clicks.
Round of clicks to Play Alberta. Very excited to have them on board. Very excited to be part of Play Alberta. And you'll see a lot more and hear a lot more of Play Alberta moving forward, which will include, we'll have our own little spot on Play Alberta where our bets will continue to show up. They'll just be on Play Alberta. Now, Dusty, you can go back to start of the Hangout from today. He explained it. He was also in the DGen den on our Discord to talk about it. And over the next while, I'm sure he'll talk about it. I'm sure there'll be a little mention of it as well. Coming up on the Lock Shop. Trev, thank you for jumping in
Thanks,
as well
boys,
today.
for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Tommy, have a good pregame show tonight.
Thank you.
You caught him. On behalf of Trev, Tommy, I am Matt. Thanks for tuning into the EST Angle, presented by Sentinel Storage Live right here on your clear choice for Edmonton Sports. Edmonton Sports Talk Lock Shop coming up in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Let's go. There you go, right in front of the camera.
First-time guest, long-time listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Zola with here, joining us today.